Let's see. All right, we're live. We are live. Welcome. Welcome to the live stream where we do it live. Here with my co-host, Little Joan, who's very itchy these days. What a day. What a day in South Jersey. So as always, what did I do this weekend? Well, I went to Kirby's Mill, which is a historic mill in South Jersey, for an event called Country Day put on by the Medford Historical Society. And that went pretty good. There was a lot of cool stuff there for me. There was a guy there. I think I have his card somewhere. Yeah. Philip Mark, sonsofliberty.com. And he does all sorts of cool shirts with like live or join or die and 1776 and the old flags. They're pretty cool. What? All right, calm down. I know the live stream's very exciting. Do you want to come over here? All right, yes, calm down. Catch your breath. All right, all right. It's all right. You okay? Sometimes she can't catch her breath. She has tiny little lungs. You all right? All right. Gets too excited. Anyhow, that was fun. They had Union soldier reenactors, and then they had cool stuff like they had a leather worker, Indie Phantom. We are live. Welcome, Indie Phantom. So they had a leather worker. I got my mother a Mother's Day gift. Got her one of those little. It's kind of like a little purse, but it's just meant to carry your cell phone and like a couple odds in it. So if you're just like, I don't know, I guess if you're going for a walk, you want a little purse, there it is. It was nice. It was made of leather. They had people selling plants. They had all kinds of food, which always drives me nuts because I never have the money to buy it. They had a guy selling cool colonial maps. Oh man, I wanted to buy all the maps too. I wanted to buy all the t-shirts and I wanted to buy all the maps. Oh man, all the historical maps. I'd love to have a room in my house with like old books and colonial maps. Oh man, that would be badass. And like a leather chair and various items from the Revolutionary War. Wouldn't that be cool? Oh, it'd be like a museum. It'd be like living in a museum. It would all smell like leather and old books. Yeah, that would be cool. That would be cool. So that was my Saturday. So it wasn't a lot of events this week. And then Mother's Day today. I hope you called your mother or did something nice. We did a brunch for my mom. My brother's at a country club. And my sister-in-law brought us all there. And we had a nice brunch. So that was nice with the family. And then I got a bunch of stuff going on next week, which I'll get into later. Today, on the live stream, where we do it live, we will be doing the mother of all list. We'll be going through some of the Rotten Tomatoes list. I'm just going to do the top 100. There are 300 movies on the list. I think it's probably a little too long to go through, so I'll just go through the top 100. Indie Phantom suggested it, and so we'll see. We'll see how angry that list makes me, because I never trusted Rotten Tomatoes much, especially after they got bought. I want to say Warner Brothers owns them. One of the studios owns them. So I don't trust the list. Ever since Indie Phantom says, yeah. Ever since they gave Drag Me to Hell a 98%, I was like, what the hell's up with this Rotten Tomatoes score? I cannot. Look, I love Sam Raimi, but Drag Me to Hell, not a 98% movie. I think the score went down since then. It's around 95. It shouldn't be that high. I bet it's in the top 300. Indie Phantom. The list is a mother, all right. Yes, it is. But as always, first, we must look at the box office. It was a slightly better box office this week. I mean, it definitely was for Disney. because the Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes is numero uno. Why did I think Disney made that? It says 20th Century Fox. Did Disney have a hand in it? Because I remember Iger saying something about it. Maybe he was just talking about the box office in general. JC, Drag Me to Hell was not good. 6-10 tops. Yeah, that's what I figure. It's like a Twilight Zone episode run amok. Indie Phantom. Rotten Tomatoes used to be awesome. I even met a girlfriend there like 25 years ago. Oh, neat. Yeah, like when it first started, I'm sure it was fine. Like a lot of websites. But then it gets co-opted and bought, and it's like Disney owns Fox. Oh, that's right. So yeah, I guess they own this too. Nuts. So I guess they haven't gotten around to ruining Fox yet, so I guess Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes. I'm just so sick of Planet of the Apes. I never really dug the revamp anyway. I still like the originals. I think they're better. The first one, of course, is amazing, but everything after that's kind of like, B-movie level stuff. Indie Phantom, Disney owns Fox. Ah, yeah, that's right. Keep forgetting that. So 56.5 million. I guess that's not bad. Where's the international on this? Oh, no international numbers yet. So, yeah, it did open in other places, and it is going to open in China, so it should do well. What's the, we don't have a budget, but I got to think this thing's got to be in the 100 to 200 area of money, right? I mean, there's a lot of CGI in this thing. It's like all CGI, practically. So, you got to figure... it's a lot of people working on this movie, so 56 million the first week. Well, next week it'll probably crack 80. Week after it'll break 100. So I think it's on track to make money when you add the international stuff in. Should make money. Should do all right. I mean, internationally, this should do very well. It's got lots of effects. It's a big movie. I don't think they wokeified it yet. Not sure how they haven't wokeified it. I'm not sure why they haven't introduced a trans ape yet. Now, would a trans ape be an ape that was a human who identifies as an ape? Or would a trans ape be an ape that identifies as a different kind of ape? That would be the question. Maybe that's the next movie. Yeah, this, I don't know. Again, I don't fault you if you like it, I guess. I hear it's decent, but I hear a lot of movies are decent. To me, it just can't beat, I mean, Charlton Heston and the big surprise at the end, which was a surprise when you first see it. It's like Psycho when you see it the first time. It's a big bombshell, and you're like, oh, that was awesome. And then you're like, oh, sequel? Well, why are they making a sequel? They're not going to be able to do that again. It's like, the reason it was popular is because of the shocker ending. So I don't know what shocker ending you could possibly bring to Planet of the Apes at this point. There is no way you could make that shocker ending. Like, I guess you could reveal, oh, it's not Earth. Turns out it wasn't Earth at all. We thought it was Earth all this time. It's not Earth at all. I mean, I guess you could say it's a simulation. Like the guy at Charlton Heston wakes up and goes, oh, it was all a simulation. I mean, that could be a shocker, I guess, but you just can't do it. There's just no reason to do these sequels on and on, I say. It's really so far removed from what it was. And that's kind of what I hate about it. I don't like that it's so far removed from what it was. So, Yeah, you're not going to get me on board with the Planet of the Apes. JC, they would make apes an allegory for black people, but that won't go over very well. Yeah, I would think that people would be very upset. Although, I don't know, the leftoids are very racist. Maybe they would enjoy it. Indie Phantom, hearing apes not doing as well as the last two either. Well, in this market, I mean, after the Fall Guy kind of sucked air and they expected big things, I kind of expected it to do better. I didn't expect it to do like gangbusters. I mean, it could have. I thought it would do okay, but it's just not an important movie. Like, I was just talking to about this with a friend of mine, my cinematographer buddy, and we were just talking about like how we don't go see movies anymore. We just don't go. There's just no reason to do it. It's such a terrible experience, number one, and I've talked about that. I won't bore you with that conversation for the umpteenth time, but it's a terrible experience, and there's just no reason for it anymore. Arden is here. What about next film, Economically Crippled Democracy of the Planet of the Apes? I like it. Green light it. Green light it. So, there's a slight reason to go see Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes on the big screen, because that's kind of a big screen movie if you don't have a big screen TV, and it's kind of a group movie. You can go with your friends and cheer the apes on or whatever. Like me and my friends back in the day, we would have went to go see the Planet of the Apes movie. We liked them, and that would have been something we would have went to go see as a group. The Fall Guy, only because I have a friend who's like the biggest Fall Guy fan, and I'm surprised he didn't call me to go see this movie. But other than that, I don't see a lot of people. The show's too old. If you had done it 20 years ago, it probably would have been huge. But the Fall Guy, you should be doing shows from like the 2000s. Like if they did a movie, I don't know, about Millennium. Remember that show with what's his face? The guy from Near Dark and Aliens, and I can't think of his name. Arden, get your paws off me, you damn dirty liberal. Like if you'd done a show from 20 years ago, maybe if it had a big enough following, they've already done X-Files to death. Lance Hendrickson, thank you, Arden. Maybe I'd go see it. I don't know how big. I don't really think it had that big of a fan base, but something from that era that was big. You're doing the Fall Guy. The show's like 40 years old, man. I remember it. My friends remember it, but we're in our 50s, man. And I didn't go see this. I kind of want to, but, it's not a movie I'll go see by myself. Who's going to hear my witty comments? JEC, the last X-Files movie didn't do jack at the box office. Millennium wouldn't do anything. Probably not. I don't know. I'm just trying to think of an example from the 2000s. JC, they're out of shows to adapt. That's what they're making. That's why they're making the Fall Guy movie. Yeah. It's just so, I thought it looked fun at least. At least it's a fun looking movie. So it did 13.7 million. 103 worldwide. Nothing to crow about. It might break even on the budget. But that's about it. Another 2 weeks, 3 weeks in the theaters, you might break even for the budget. And, the advertising, I guess you just throw that money down a rat hole. Challengers at number 3, 4.6 million. I never would have greenlit this thing. 68 million. Did it cost that much? 55 million. So you probably got a break-even situation here. with the advertising. Eventually. Probably didn't spend, I don't know. Did they spend a ton of money on this movie? Who the hell wants to see Zendaya get railed by two dudes? I just don't. Now, I've heard from at least one source the movie is actually okay. That it doesn't really focus on that, to which I would say, then why did you heavily promote that in the trailer? Did you think that was an angle of attack for the audience? Ooh, a throuple. Ooh, Zendaya getting railed by two dudes. Like, that to me would not be a reason to put that in a trailer. You would probably hide that and then let people talk about it, right? You would put the other emphasis on the drama and the sport, and then people talking about there's a three-way in this movie, and then let people speculate, right? And then maybe they go to see it thinking they're going to get something really tawdry, but of course they're not, because it's just a regular movie. But I mean, I'm sure there's no nudity or very little nudity in it. What was it rated? It's probably rated R, right? Let's see. I would assume it would have an R rating. There it is. Yeah, rated R. 2 hours and 11 minutes. Too long. Too long. And tighten up the damn movie, will you? There's no reason for this movie to be over 2 hours. Just no discipline in Hollywood anymore. 2 hours tops. Tops. Indie Phantom, at least Zendaya was played for hotness this time. Yeah. I hear it's not that bad. I mean, it's on Amazon. I could review it, but I think I'd rather jump out a window. Number 4, Tarot from Sony. It's a horror movie. 3.4 million in its second week. Ardent, LOL, reverse typecasting. Only drops 47%, so that's not bad. It's got a little bit of legs for a horror movie. Did 20 mil. Probably didn't cost that much. Although it had a little bit of effect, so maybe. I could see this costing about 20 mil. So, I don't know. It didn't sound that great. But Godzilla X Kong, times Kong, with Kong, Godzilla and Kong, The New Empire. I hear this is pretty watchable in its 7th week. And it's a 5th highest grossing movie, 2.5 mil. Ardent. JC. Zendaya's mid would not hit. Ardent. I'd hit her with a water balloon from Orbit. Zendaya. For me, I don't find Zendaya all that attractive. She's okay for me. I understand why people like her. She's very fit and she's thin and glamorous. I mean, as a guy who's normally pretty thirsty and at 58, sure, I'd go out with Zendaya for a while. Absolutely. But, she wouldn't be at top of my list. If I could get Zendaya, there'd be a whole lot of other women I'd go after. A whole lot. And Margot Robbie being on the top, and Jennifer Lawrence being in there too. So Zendaya comes in for me, I don't know, and the Hollywood A-listers, probably at the bottom for the Hollywood A-listers. I think I'd bang Angelica Houston before I'd bang Zendaya. Number 6, Unsung Hero from Lionsgate. It's not doing too bad, I guess. 2.2 million. It's just that the box office is so friggin' low. 16 million. I think this movie made money, right? Because it was only 6 million. Yeah, so this movie's doing okay. This is the way you make a movie. Stranger Mosh is here. Anna de Armas. Oh, yeah. First and foremost. Oh, yeah. She's in the top 3. Oh, yeah. Anna de Armas. Whew. Smoke shows. Sydney Sweeney, of course, would be in the mix. Probably put her as... Yeah, that's a battle. Definitely would be in the top 3. That's the list we should do. Hot Hollywood A-listers we would bang. Number 7 is Kung Fu Panda. It's up from 8. This is why the box office is in such sorry shape. It's in its 10th week. It should not be going back up in the box office, but there you have it. $500 million, a little more. Number 8 is Civil War, down from 6, 1.8 million. No reason to take it out of the theaters. 103. There's no way this movie made money, though. Well, production budget of 50 million. Yeah, I guess it did. It looks like it's a lot more expensive. I will say that. Ardent, Hollywood MILFs for Mother's Day? I don't know. I think a lot of those hot A-listers are single and have no kids. Yeah, Civil War. I mean, Civil War shouldn't be on this list. Kung Fu Panda should be off this list. Or it should be... There should be like 5 other movies ahead of it. Star Wars Episode 1, The Phantom Menace, drops from 2 to 9. But it's still in the top 10 at 1.5 million. It should not be. But smart move on Disney for re-releasing it. Made $1 million. I mean, you might as well. What's the total on this deal? Oh, worldwide is $1 billion. Oh, okay. Oh, so they pushed it over $1 billion. Ah, that's smart. Pushed it over $1 billion with a re-release. Nice. Nice. Yeah, okay. So now they could say to their, stockholders, oh, we got another $1 billion movie. Oh, what is it? Oh, it's a 25-year-old movie. The old Star Wars. What about the new Star Wars? Let's not talk about that. Let's not talk about current Star Wars. Nerdrotic has a good video on Bob Iger today and just how Disney seems to be going down the tubes. Number 10, dropping from 9, Abigail, 1.1 mil. I thought this movie would do better. I think in earlier years it would have. 36 mil. This is a movie I'll definitely see on streaming at some point. It looks cool. Ghostbusters at number 11 from 10. Still made $1 million. Kind of lackluster. I feel like this is the end of Ghostbusters. I feel like at this point, the old guys jump ship. Ardent, LOL, bored earlier, got OpenAI spec Darth Jar Jar prequel trilogy for me. I feel like the old guys now will bail on the franchise mostly and just show up for the occasional appearance. Like they tried to franchise this thing and it just didn't work. Nobody's interested in the other characters. No one's interested in them. They're barely interested in the Paul Rudd and the family characters, and they were the main ones to try to push. And you added like a dozen other guys, like nobody cares about them, I say. So, like if you had made it like direct descendants from the Ghostbusters, and I know you have one, but like the other guys should have had direct descendants too. Indie Phantom, keep forgetting that damn Ghostbusters happened. Yeah, I know. It's like it just didn't hit, and it should have been released in the summer. I think this should have been a summer movie. Then maybe it would have worked. But I think you needed to focus. I think you needed one last adventure for the old Ghostbusters and to pass the torch. Pass the torch on the newer Ghostbusters, and they should have all been comedians. They should have all been top flight comedians. So who would I have in the Ghostbusters? Ardent, think the nostalgia ringing trend will die down for a bit again soon? I think they'll have no choice but to let it die because there's nothing else left to mine at this point. But I think they're going to go for a Ghostbusters franchise TV show or whatever. But who would be the top rated comedians at this point to be in a Ghostbusters movie? I guess you would have to consider Dave Chappelle. I don't think he'd do it. I think he's kind of done with movies. But he would be great. I mean, he's not a great actor, but I think he'd be funny. I think he could write it. But I don't think he'd do it. After that, who could you get? I guess Bill Burr would be a good one. Ardent, Kevin Hart, Bill Burr, Brad Lawrence, Dave Chappelle. That's not a bad lineup. I was thinking Kevin Hart too. Maybe Matt Rife, because he's new. He's a pretty hot comedian right now. They're trying to get him in stuff. None of the SNL guys would really rank, I don't think. Yeah. So, yeah. That's part of the problem, too. There's no really hot comics anymore. Comedy's just languishing. Yeah. There's not a lot of hot comics that you could just throw into this. Yeah. I mean, maybe Bert Kreischer. Bert Kreischer, maybe. He's a little old, but he is fun. I did like Nikki Glazer, who did the Tom Brady roast. I didn't see it, but I saw her in previous roasts. She was very funny. Even Jeffrey Ross, Jeffrey Ross could have been like the Patton Oswalt part, whatever the hell he got to do. Arnett, alternatively, put me bleach, trim, and bezel from the Sultans in a new Ghostbusters and watch people's brains explode from the mix of accent. Maybe. You guys could do like in Be Kind, Rewind, the Jack Black movie where they remade movies on VHS and then rented them. Like you guys could do that. It'd be funny. Yeah, back in the day, I mean, I hate to say this, but it would have been true. Before Seth Rogen lost his mind, it would have been Seth Rogen, James Franco, and Jonah Hill, and maybe Danny McBride, like those four. And I would still throw in Danny McBride. I think he could still be funny. But they're kind of all out of comedy now, it seems. And Paul Rudd wouldn't be bad as one of the Ghostbusters, but like this whole kid angle kind of undermines this whole deal. Steve Carell wouldn't be bad choice. And Will Ferrell, I don't know what happened to Will Ferrell. He just kind of dropped off the face of the earth. He was doing comedy after comedy, and now he does nothing. Now he does, I guess he did a Ron Burgundy for the Tom Brady roast, which looks funny. I may watch that on YouTube, but that's about, I'm kind of pissed off about the roast because they keep making these announcements about what they're cutting from the roast. Like Kim Kardashian got booed, and there was a joke about cocaine with Bert Kreischer, and they cut them, and it's like, what? That's not why we tune in to see a roast. We want to see all this stuff. Ardent, Rogan, Franken, Kevin Smith, not Kevin Smith. I would say not Kevin Smith, unless it was like a side thing. Dennis Leary at their peaks. I would put Jay. Silent Bob, no. I don't think Kevin can do comedy. I think he has to be like the support. He's not a comedian. But Jay's not bad. Like, Jay under the right direction. Like, Kevin, I think, hits Jay's mark, gets Jay to hit his mark maybe 60% of the time. And he's funny. Like, if Jay was the intern at the Ghostbusters and he was just constantly high, it would be funny. And then maybe you could throw in Silent Bob. Ardent, yeah, maybe Jason Mewes instead. I think he would be funnier if he did. I mean, he'd end up doing the same thing he always does, but it would be kind of funny. Number 12, dropping from 11, The Ministry of Ungentlemanly Warfare. This movie got creamed, and I think it's all Alan Ritchson's fault. I really do. The timing on his wacky pronouncements on his politics couldn't have been worse. It totally sucked the air out of this. It made me not want to see it. I was kind of psyched to see it, and now I have no interest in ever seeing it. But maybe on streaming. It's like, you're doing a fun movie, and then you decide, hey, let me talk about all my stupid political opinions now. Like, at least Reacher is a semi-serious show, and you can almost tie it into something in the modern day, I guess. Something about war or, some issue. But The Ministry of Ungentlemanly Warfare was a period piece and kind of an action comedy. Like, there's absolutely no way he should have been talking about that stuff. This is why celebrities, I think, have to be very careful when they do podcasts now. And they should think twice about doing them, because this stuff comes out later to ruin movies. And make no mistake, it is also true that, the studios will try to sabotage each other's movies, I think, using their media. It's not just about, they're woke or whatever. It's also about the movie studios screwing each other. It doesn't take much to do something like that. And you got a claw here going on. You all right? Because something like Alan Ritchson talking about his politics, it just goes against the grain, I think, of his whole image, and I think it's really ruined a lot of it. For me, it has. I'm just like, now I have to think about whether or not I want to give this guy my money. Now I have to make that calculation. Before I didn't. Before I was all in on Reacher. Wow, what a great first season. I want to see this guy succeed. Now I got to think about it. So, I don't know. Maybe on streaming. Not Another Church movie premiered to not very much money. $360K. But this movie did not look good. Again, I appreciate the effort of trying to make a comedy, and it's not a bad choice of parody, because this was a parody of churches and mostly movies like that Tyler Perry makes. But it just doesn't look great. Jamie Foxx is in it as God, and Mickey Rourke is in it as the devil. Again, two good choices, good cameos. They're going to be extended cameos, basically, but yeah, the lead, he just doesn't look like he's ready for prime time. All right, Joan, I got to put you on the floor. You're too squirmy. Ugh. It's a shame. So, swing and a miss, I say. Maybe try again. I don't know. I saw the TV Glow. This is some art house movie from A24. They put it in, I guess, a handful of theaters last week, and now they put it in more, so it looks like it's going up the charts, but it's only in 21 theaters now, so 195,000. I don't think that's going anywhere. The First Omen still hanging around in its 6th week. Monkey Man also hanging around, both at around 140K. Pool Man is getting panned into oblivion. This is a Chris Pine directed movie. But I'll say this, I respect Chris Pine. because he came out with a statement something like, I thought I made a piece of S, and then I went back and watched the movie again, and no, I really love this movie. So I have to hand it to him. Look, he loves his own movie. I can't fault him for that. Even if critics are panning this thing, maybe it's good. I don't know. It makes me want to watch it at least on streaming. I wouldn't go to the theater for it. Ardent, Monkey Man looks interesting, but Patel irks me. Dev Patel, yeah. Yes. I don't know why he put trans people in it. It's just weird. Just seems like dude, just do a Indian John Wick. That totally would have sold. Absolutely would have sold. If he just did, okay, I'm just doing my own version of John Wick. It's just going to be an Indian guy and he just shoots 1 million people. Fantastic. Like, if you wanted to, like, cram some trans message in there, like, either one, hide it, make it super subtle and don't promote it, or, here's a thought, don't put it in the movie at all, or put it in the sequel. Like, establish the damn movie franchise before you jam something like some kind of message in it. Ardent, let's be real, most mainstream critics are paid off. Yeah, but I think the fans would have liked it if it was just a straight up actioner. Don't think it needed a big message in it. Evil does not exist. Some whacked out film, I assume. $102,000. Oh, it's from China, maybe? Is that Chinese? Maybe that's Japanese. I'm not sure. Can't. Indie Phantom, cram some trans. Ardent, phrasing. Irina's Vow. I vaguely remember this movie. 77,000? Oh yeah, it's some World War II deal. I think I saw the trailer for that. I don't know. Looked okay-ish, I guess, in that vein. Wildcat. Looked fine for an art house movie again. They put it in a handful of theaters, bumped it up, trying to get a thing going, but at 134,000, they're not getting enough distribution. The Long Game, that's going out of theaters. I think it's had its run. Ardent Polish? Which one? Irina's Vow? Maybe. Might be Polish. Yeah, I think it is. Yes, I think it is Polish. Force of Nature, The Dry 2. This was an Eric Bana film. They're trying to turn this into a franchise, but I think it's out of Australia. So I think these numbers are the result of the Australian box office. Yep, boom, there it is. So it's doing all the business in Australia because he's Australian, and I assume they dumped all their money into advertising it there. So it looks fine. There was it's like a crime drama. This is a sequel. It's a different crime and the same investigator. It's weird to see him, because Australian actors are usually very good, so good with American accents, you're actually shocked when you hear their actual accent. So, to me, it's weird to hear Eric Bana after he played Bruce Banner. It's weird to hear him have such a thick Aussie accent. La Chimera, Late Night with the Devil is still hanging on in a few theaters, and then Stress Position, still in theaters. Still in theaters. This movie, probably the most LGBTQIA2S plus movie ever. It's made $101,000, essentially, and it's still in theaters after 4 weeks. I mean, but it's only in 15 theaters. Like, there's just not enough audience here, in my view. I guess this is in every, urban theater in America. So, I guess that's a market, but I can't imagine it costs less than $101,000 to shoot this thing. So, all right, 92 million, and more than half of that is for Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes. So, and the Fall Guy makes up another chunk of it, and then everything. So, like, really, the box office is just still very sickly. You know what you could need? You know what you could do? Here's a surprise. You could give more movies distribution. I mean, I was saying this to my friend, the cinematographer. I was just like, I see all these trailers, and some of them are pretty decent. Like, why wouldn't they give them more releases? Like, you go to a theater, it's got 14 screens, at least a dozen, sometimes more, and they'll show a movie like Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes on 3 screens, at least 2. Okay, I get that. It's doing well. But when they did that for Madam Web and The Marvels and these other movies that, in my view, were worthless, time to take them out and put something else up in there. And now, it's not like it was in the old days. In the old days, you had to ship the physical movie to the theater. They needed a print to show the movie. Now, it's all done mostly by the internet, or, you know, they send a flash drive, and they can send it relatively quickly. It's relatively inexpensive now to make a copy of the movie. Like, why not distribute more movies? More movies means more chances you'll have a hit. There'll be more stuff in the theaters. And, you know, maybe something will hit. Something. You know, there's a few movies out. Like, I mean, for me, you know me, I like zombie movies. There's a zombie movie they shot in LA that looks fun. I forget what it's called. Basically, a guy breaks up with his girlfriend and he gets really depressed. And he misses the zombie apocalypse, kind of. And then his friend comes over to his house because he's been calling him for days and he's not answering because he's depressed about his girlfriend. And he has to come over there to tell him the zombie apocalypse happened because he's been cooped up in his place for like several weeks and he's completely missed it. So it's a fun movie. You know, it wouldn't do a lot of business, but it would be something different to see than this list. Like Ghostbusters, it's not going to do much more. You know, it should go out of theaters now. Like, this should be the last week for Ghostbusters. Or if it, at least on multiple screens. Like, I could see keeping it in maybe another 2 weeks. But for multiple screens? No, absolutely not. Indie Phantom, we used to have opinions. Now your option is woke or less woke. Yeah. JC, Shaun of the Dead, basically. Yeah. But in LA. Ardent, maybe take a note from the Europeans and serve food and drinks in some of the theaters. I mean, they've gotten what they can out of the cinema system at the point the way it is. There's a few places like that in the United States. They're called Brew-In Views. At least that was the chain, one of them. We don't have them in New Jersey because liquor laws prevent that for the most part. But yeah, that would be an idea. Some people are very much against it, but at this point, you know, I would totally do that. I mean, there's some issues with it. People are going to be getting their food and talking about the damn food while you're trying to watch the movie, but you know, you can only show the movie so many times, but you really make the money on the food and the drink. So, and you could put little ordering keypads at all the stations around the restaurant, and then they don't have to talk, and the servers could just come with your food and your bill and whatever. So yeah, I think that would be a good idea. Ardent, LOL. There used to be a store called Brew and Views in my home, sold home brew and rented VHSs. Oh, neat. Yeah, I think the Brew and Views are like in the Vermont area or New Hampshire, up that way. But in New Jersey, it would be, forget it. Not going to happen. Something needs to happen. Something needs to happen. Yeah, homebrew supplies. Indie Phantom. I don't know if I want to smell someone else's awesome food. Well, yeah, you wouldn't go if you weren't going to get food. Like, you can't go to a Brew-and-View just to see the movie while other people are eating. You know, it's really a restaurant and you see a movie kind of deal. Or maybe you get loaded and don't eat. But, and it's, you know, there's a bit of a logistics to it, but they need to do something. I say either drop the price of the ticket, give away popcorn, or just lower the price of the movies, or just slash the price of the matinees. Like, slash it to nothing. Like, $5 matinees until you get people back in the theaters. Just spend a year doing $5 matinees. Then everybody will come back to the movie theater. You know, will they lose some money? It's not really a loss of money as long as they're making money on the ticket, right? So if it's the difference between selling a movie ticket that's $14 and you make, let's say, I'll assume they make Indie Phantom. Problem is then the cinema needs a cook, etc. Yeah. Well, then your expenses go up and you need to make more. But you'll make more. So if you drop it to, say, $5, a matinee is $5. Let's say you're only going to make $1 on every ticket. But at $14, let's say you're making, I don't know, $8 a ticket or $10 a ticket. But, you know, you're only getting a handful of people. With $5 a pop, you would jam the you know, the theater with people, I think. Ardit, the local theater does a cheap night, I think. Yeah, mine does too, but it's not cheap enough. Like, it has to be like cheap, like, oh, that's a good price. Like, that's worth going to see. Like, to me, $5, I'd finally go back to the movie theaters for $5. I'd go see Planet of the Apes for $5. But if I got to pay 10 and I got to go through all the aggravations, Indie Phantom might as well just be a pub that streams flicks. Yeah. Sure. Or give away popcorn. I think that could work. Because, you know, I think the theaters could give away, you wouldn't have to give away at all. You just give people a small bag of popcorn. It makes them thirsty, they buy a drink. You just give away the popcorn. I mean, that's an old bar trick. Salted peanuts, popcorn. Something. Dead Souls is here. Hey, Dead Souls, you're just in time. What are we doing? What are we looking at today? Well, we're going to look at the top 100 movies of all time from Rotten Tomatoes, and I'm going to complain about it. So here it is right now. Arnett, one of my best nights out was watching From Dusk Till Dawn at a pub. Ooh. JC, popcorn is where they make their money. On soda too. Ardit, low DS. You gotta make a sacrifice somewhere. I think it would be easier for them to sacrifice the popcorn. Even if the studio had to say, look, we'll buy you the kernels. We'll buy you the supplies. Just give it away and just do it. You know, look, they took the initiative to add $1 to the Batman movie. Why not take the initiative to undercut everybody? Why not take the initiative to say, our newest movie, like Disney is the one who should do it. Oh, Deadpool versus Wolverine. We know this movie's going to make money, but we're going to give you $2 off. People would go nuts. Indie Phantom. Yeah, video stores used to give free popcorn while you browse. Something's got to give. Something. You have to give back to the fans. Something. Give them a comic book. Give them something. Give them a reason to come to the damn theater again. There's just no reason to go. I'd rather sit at home, watch on this computer screen, pause the movie whenever I want, go to the bathroom, make a sandwich. Not necessarily together, but you know what I'm saying. I let out the dog, who's now asleep. Oh, good. Thought she walked out of the room to pee all over the place. You know what this dog did to me? Before we get to the list, I have a front mat. She keeps peeing on it. It's driving me nuts. So I washed it in the washing machine. I bought one that's washable safe. I washed it, got it all nice and clean. I said, okay, now all I got to do is watch Joan to make sure she doesn't pee on it again. Didn't she pee on it that night? I literally placed it down and she peed on it again. Anyhow. All right. Rotten Tomatoes, top 100. It's actually 300, but I don't want to go through all 300. That's too much. So number 100, The Social Network. That's the movie about Facebook. It's all right. I don't know. Even at 100, I feel like that could go lower. Indie Phantom. Cinemas used to give you free S on previews like posters and novelizations. Yeah, something. Dead Souls. I mean, I saw Abigail, and I'm the one who hates vampires, but the movie was actually not that bad to me. It looked cool. It looked kind of cool. Number 99, Memento. JC, I hated The Social Network. I didn't mind it, but I didn't think it was any great shakes. Ardent, Grabbing Supper. Alrighty. BBIAB. Alright. Memento, pretty good movie. Might be in the top 100, I guess. I mean, it's got a cool thing. LeMay is here. Hi, LeMay. Counting down the top 100 movies on Rotten Tomatoes. The Terminator at 98. I really do like The Terminator. Seems a little low on the list for Terminator for me. I would put that a little higher. But a good movie. Very solid. Very, very slim. Number 97 is Stalker, 1979. No idea. Anybody see this movie, Stalker, 1979? And I've seen a lot of 70s movies. This one doesn't ring a bell. Let's take a look. I mean, anything made in the 70s, it's usually pretty good. A guide leads two men through an area known as the Zone to find a room that grants wishes. Wow, I didn't expect that. Okay. Sounds very heady. JC, Stalker is a Russian art movie. Yeah, it sounds like it. All right. Number 96 is Rebecca from 1940. I have no idea what this movie is. Alex Ogle, my first Tony D stream in 3 weeks due to traveling in Taiwan. It's good to be back. Well, welcome back, Alex. How was Taiwan? Let's see what Rotten Tomatoes says about it. Which one is this? Story of a young woman who marries a fascinating widower only to find out she must live in the shadow of his former wife, Rebecca. Oh, right. Okay. I knew that plot, but I didn't know where it originated from. JC, Hitchcock? That's a Hitchcock movie? Oh, that must be one of the first ones. Oh, yeah. First American film. His only Best Picture winner. Oh, man, I got to see that one. All right. Number 95, 8th Grade. 2018? 8th Grade. 13-year-old Kyla endures a tidal wave of contemporary suburban adolescence as she makes her way through the last weeks of middle school. I guess? Alex Ogle. Stalker is based on the Russian novel by Sturgatsky brothers called Roadside Picnic. The novel is superb. I doubt the film. Alex, I did a 30-second book club on it recently. Oh, wow. Wow, I feel stupid today. You guys know all this stuff about Russian art. 8th grade. Yeah, I haven't heard of this one. Alex, Taiwan was great. I experienced my first big earthquake over there. It was fun. Okay, if you say so. Didn't realize they were in an earthquake zone there. Number 94, Witness for the Prosecution. I vaguely remember this movie. Tyrone Power. Tried for a murder of a wealthy woman. Legendary lawyer Sir Wilfrid Robarts. Charles Lawton defends him. I may have seen this, so maybe. I don't know. I would have put Terminator above all these, but I love Terminator, so. Meet Me in St. Louis. I know this movie. I mean, I don't think I've seen it, but I know. Well, no, I've seen parts of it. I don't know. Yeah, I guess, you know, it was big at the time, I'm sure, back when musicals were a thing. Pather Patchell, 1955? Yeah, some obscure movies on this list. Pather Panchali. Impoverished priest Harihar Ray, dreaming of a better life for himself and his family, leaves his rural Bengal village in search of work. Okay. I guess. Knights of Cabiria. Oh, this is a Fellini movie? Streetwalker with a Heart of Gold. Okay. I mean, it's Fellini. Monsters, Inc. Whew. I'm getting the bends from reading this list. Monsters, Inc. I mean, it's okay. It's number 88 of the top, or 90 of the top 100 movies of all time? You're putting Russian art house movies, and you put Monster, Inc. above that? No. I certainly would... no. Certainly, the Terminator deserves to be ahead of Monsters, Inc. One could argue the Russian art house movie and the artier movies should be ahead of Terminator, but Jesus. Alex, I only know of Knights of Sidonia, but that's a song by Muse. Then All Quiet on the Western Front from 1930. Now I hear one of you guys told me that's the really good one. Although I thought the recent remake was pretty amazing. Alex, I'm not sure Streetwalkers have a heart of gold. Well, you were just in Taiwan. I don't know. Oh wait, that's the wrong country for that. So All Quiet on the Western Front. Yeah, that probably deserves to be in the top 100 movies. Just above Monsters, Inc. I mean, it's such a weird list. Man, you were right about this list, Indie Fandom. Then His Girl Friday. Now, I've heard of this movie. I don't think I've seen it. It's an old-timey movie. Oh, yeah, Cary Grant. Okay. Sure, I guess. 87, The Shop Around the Corner, another movie from the 40s. Who's making this list? Like a 100-year-old man and then a bunch of hipsters? I don't know. I can't imagine the people who made this list actually saw all these movies, but maybe. Alex Ogle, All Quiet might be a great film, but The Paths of Glory isn't in this list, then it's topsy-turvy. Okay, number 86 is Laura, 1944. Is that another Hitchcock? Oh no, it's a film noir. Laura. I've heard of this, but I don't think I've seen it. All right, Laura. I want to look up Laura. There it is. No, Otto Preminger. That's probably why I heard of this movie. So, yeah, looks cool, looks classic. Looks classic. Fanny and Alexander from 1982. I've definitely heard of this movie, but I have no idea what it's about. I don't know. Some kind of drama. Indie Phantom. Unlike Schindler's List, this list saves nobody. Were you waiting all week to make that joke? Because it was worth the wait. Alex Ogle. This is the Rotten Tomatoes top list that's composed by a Marxist? I guess. Alex Ogle, laughing at your joke, Indie Phantom. That was pretty damn funny. Number 84 so The Silence of the Lambs. Okay. That's a really good movie. I enjoyed The Silence of the Lambs. Should it be in the top 100? Maybe. I mean, they got it at 84, so I guess it's about the right place for it. Indie Phantom. Fanny and Alexander is just long. That's all I know. Number 83, Harry Potter and the Deathly Hallows Part 2. No, look, I'm not a Harry Potter guy. I think they're okay movies. I don't think they should be on, like, the best list. At best, you should combine all the Harry Potter movies and maybe put them in the list, or have a separate list for the top franchise movies, maybe, but I don't think it's that good of a movie in general. Joan, are you okay? Have a drink, babe. Have a drink. Over here hacking. That's number 83. Just one Harry Potter movie. And again, it's like, it's weird to put just one on the list. Like, am I going to see like the rest of the Harry Potter movies on this list, or that's the best one? It's weird. And then, okay, now this is a movie that deserves to be on the list. 82, The Good, the Bad, the Ugly. Absolutely. I mean, it's a classic movie. Rave reviews. I mean, I'm prejudiced because I've seen it, and it's a Western. But, yeah, like that movie, sure. When you're talking about the top 100 movies of all time, The Good, the Bad, the Ugly should absolutely be on the list. No question. That's the way it should be. The list should be movies of no question. No question this should be on the top 100 list, everybody. No question at all. Like Blowout or Blow Up. No, which one is it? One's the remakes Blowout and the originals Blow Up. Like, that's an important movie. But, you know, I would put that in the top 100, but this is The Good, Bad, the Ugly, yes, but Harry Potter? And it just beats Harry Potter? You're telling me The Good, the Bad, the Ugly, yeah, it's just a little better than the Harry Potter movie. No, by a long sea mile. Harry Potter should be like, in the movies of all time, it should be somewhere around, I don't know, the 400, 500 range at best. Same thing with, like, I'm really mad now that Monsters, Inc. is even on this list. Even though I don't mind it, but... Alright, I gotta catch up here. Alex, the Harry Potter films the Harry Potter films, spelled Harry, were enjoyable, but they weren't great. They consolidated the talent of Britain's best actors and were pantomime at best. If you Americans know what pantomime is. Yes, I do. Indie Phantom. You can't put sequels that are in two parts on the list. Get ready for a lot of Pixar sequels. JC. Third one is the best one. My ex made me watch all of them. Oh, dear God. Now I know why she's your ex. Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse is 81. No, I haven't seen it, but I'm 100% convinced it should not be on this list. Indie Phantom. Blowout is an awesome De Palma flick. Travolta was the coolest sound guy ever. Yeah, it's the original movie that's the important one. But yeah, Blowout's not bad. But Blow Up is the one that's kind of like key in the world of film. Which that one's based on. So Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse has no business being on this list. None. Quite frankly, it's not even old enough to be ranked. Because you don't know, in 20 years, is anybody going to remember this movie? No way. 20 years, this movie will be completely forgotten. Completely forgotten. It's not going to be like if you put The Little Mermaid there, you'd be like the original Little Mermaid. Maybe. Even then, I wouldn't put it on this list, but you could say, well, it's endured like 30 years. People still watch it and show it to their kids. Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse, people are not going to show that to their kids 20 years from now. Alex, there is no room on the top 100 for the word Spider-Man. Yeah, pretty much. Number 80, Aliens. The second Aliens. It is really good. I don't think it should be in the top 100. The first Alien movie should be. Probably not the second one, though. The Gold Rush, 1925. And I have the bends again. Jesus. 1925. Was there sound in this movie? No. This is a Charlie Chaplin movie. Okay. Sure. Indie Phantom. Blowout was the third De Palma flick in a row that opened with hot chicks showering. Winning. Okay, Gold Rush probably belongs on here. Yeah, okay. Charlie Chaplin, yeah. Good Will Hunting, 1997. Maybe? I mean, it's okay. JC, Gold Rush is a good one. Yes. I don't remember that one. It's been a long time since I saw a silent film. I'm a big fan of Harold Lloyd and Buster Keaton, but I haven't watched a ton of Chaplin. So, Alex Ogle, they better have Metropolis on this list. Yeah. And Indie Phantom, Aliens is a bit wokeified in retrospect, mostly because Cameron pisses me off now. Alex Ogle, Good Will Hunting? JC, Goose Will Hunting sucks. Yeah, it's just, it doesn't belong on this list. Like, it hasn't, I don't think it's really endured. And speaking of Metropolis, 1927. Okay, 77? Seems a little low for an important movie like that, but at least it's on the list of top 100 movies of all. I mean, it belongs on the list. Number 76, A Hard Day's Night. Yeah. Okay, I think so. Because, yes, for one Beatles movie, yes, the Beatles were that huge and big, so yes, I'll say. Tokyo Story, 1953. That one I don't know. Hold on. Rick Sanchez is here. Hello. Tokyo Story. An old couple visit their children and grandchildren in the city but receive little attention. Alright, I don't know this movie. Alex Ogle, ha ha ha. A Beatles movie that is on the top 100. Now I know culture is dead. I'll give it one. The Beatles were huge enough, I guess. I mean, I could see them putting a Beatles movie on the list, but we're only at 76, and I fear for the rest of the list. It's a weird list. God, this is weird. Yeah, Tokyo Story. I don't know. Maybe. Did they pick like one Japanese? Oh, we got to include the Japanese. What do we have? What's obscure and sounds smart? How about Tokyo Story? I've never seen that. That's good. I'll put that on the list. Alex Ogle, the Spice Girls movie will be in the top 100 in 20 years' time. Number 74, Mad Max Fury Road absolutely does not belong on the list. No. No. Absolutely not. Should not be on the list. I don't know why it's here. You people are nuts at Rotten Tomatoes. That's infuriating. The top 100 movies of all time? Yeah, if you were born in, I don't know, 98, maybe. Like, if you were doing the top 100 movies from the last 10 years, maybe this gets on the list. Maybe. Maybe. But Jesus. Indie Phantom. Spoiler alert, the list will get even worse. How much worse is this going to get? Boy, did you pick this right. Rick Sanchez. I'm shipping out my game, Roy. Do you know the episode? I know the episode, yes. Where you had to play Roy in virtual reality and you play his whole life. LeMay, what is this list? It's Rotten Tomatoes. Oh. Indie Phantom, The Road Warrior is the only one that should be on there. Yeah, that's a good one. JC, swap it out for The Road Warrior. Yep, I agree. Alex Ogle, Mad Max Genius, Mad Max Fury Road was a worthy conjuring into our current cultural desert. LeMay, is Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon on this list? I don't know. This list is like all over the place. Tampopo, which I sort of know. I mean, I've heard of it. It's a fairly classic movie, so I'll say yes. I think it's a classic movie, so maybe. The Last Picture Show, yes, another movie. It's pretty classic. I don't know, I haven't seen it. Jeff Bridges is in it. Maybe. It is a 70s show, a 70s movie, but there's a lot of 70s movies I would put on this list, and I haven't seen them yet. Alex at LeMay, no communist crap. Number 71, Mission Impossible Fallout? No, sorry. No, Mission Impossible shouldn't be on this list. I like Tom Cruise. I kind of hate the Mission Impossible movies. I liked one of them. I saw one of them. I'd seen a couple of them. I saw the first one and hated it. I saw one of the later ones. I don't think it was Fallout, but it was okay. None of these movies. What is the criteria here? Indie Phantom. Cyrillic Shepherd naked in Last Picture Show. Actually, awesome movie, actually. Oh, Sybil. Oh, okay. Naked Sybil Shepherd. Definitely. Yeah, okay. But I hear good things about the Last Picture Show, so probably belongs on the list, but not Mission Impossible. Sanchez, my new religion encompasses only pre-2001 games. Okay. What is the name of your religion, Rick? Number 90 or 70, Apocalypse Now. Yes. Belongs on the list. Would be on one of my lists. Apocalypse Now. Yes. See, that's one. No question. It's a great movie. Lot to it. Classic. Yes. Yes to Apocalypse Now. Alex Ogle at Indie Phantom. Sybil Shepherd naked. I think I may have I may have to abandon this stream. Indie Phantom. Alex, it's great movie and book. JC, director who did The Last Picture Show. shows best movie is Targets from '67. Ooh. Rick Sanchez, pre-gamealism. JC, Targets is great. R.I.P. Roger Corman. Did you hear Roger Corman died? I did, and I wrote no on the Twitter retweet of his death. Very sad. Indie Phantom, Apocalypse Now, great classic, and I love the making of Doc. I do too. That's a really great one. If only to watch Marlon Brando get off the helicopter. Because the story was that Marlon promised to lose weight, and he was even fatter by the time he got to the set, and he hadn't lost a pound. He probably gained weight, and he gets off the helicopter, and you can see the helicopter go, oh, thank God. Indie Phantom, Targets is a sweet little flick. Might have to check that out. That sounds cool, says Indie Phantom. Oh, I skipped one. No, wait. No, I didn't. Oh, my God. I went too high on the list, and now I pissed myself off preemptively. Number 69 is The Treasure of the Sierra Madre. Okay, this movie I know. Yes, on the list. JC, Targets is probably the best movie Corman produced. Yes, The Treasure of the Sierra Madre is classic. This is Humphrey Bogart. I think probably his best movie, maybe. Definitely one of his best. So that's a classic. Absolutely belongs on this list. Portrait of a Lady on Fire. No idea. Let's tune into this one. This is a recent movie. Too many recent. There's a lot of recency bias going. Portrait of a Lady on Fire. What the hell is this? On an isolated island in Brittany, at the end of the 18th century, a female painter is obligated to paint a wedding portrait of a young woman. What the F do you get off nominating this movie? What the F is happening? Rick Sanchez, on a scale of not to very, how into kids is Luc Besson? I have no idea. I don't. That's a director. I don't know. JC, Boris Karloff dealing with being washed up in Intercut with a spree killer going on a rampage. African Queen is his best movie. Oh yeah, I guess it probably would be. Alex Ogle, I'm waiting to hear the word McClintock in Indie Phantom. Brando in your flick at a certain point meant you were going to get great behind the scenes doc. There is a hilarious one for the island of Dr. Moreau. I've seen some of that too. That's a very funny doc, by the way. He is fallen apart by that. I mean, he's just. But like, it works for that movie because he is insane. But the movie's kind of terrible. So yeah, Portrait of a Lady on Fire has no business being here. I don't know where you get off even nominating it. I haven't seen it, but Indie Phantom, Portrait is one of those LGBT flicks that letterbox posters get wet for. Alex, the only lady on fire I have time for is French Virgin Jeanne d'Arc. Let's see. Number 67, Minari, which I have heard of. I can't remember what it's about. A tender, sweeping story about what roots us. Minari follows a Korean-American family that moves to a tiny Arkansas farm in search of their own. I don't know, man. This movie win an Oscar or something? Rick Sanchez, ha ha ha. Indie Phantom, Portrait sets the list on fire. Yeah, like, where are you getting these movies? Did you just not have enough time to see enough movies? Like, when you set out to make the list of movies of all time, like, if you guys asked me to put out the movie list of all time, it would be a year to 2 years before I could get back to you because I would have to see so many movies, obviously. I mean, I could do the list of my all-time 100 movies, but that wouldn't encompass all of cinema of all time. It would just encompass the movies I've seen. Like, some of these movies are classic, but I haven't seen them, or I've only seen parts of them. You know? It's like, where are you getting these movies? Indie Phantom. That is the Asian from Walking Dead. Oh. Oh, what's his name? Glenn on the show. Rick Sanchez. Who wants to support a shot-for-shot remake of The Goonies with Bobby Lee as Data? I do. That'd be pretty funny. Okay. 66 is The Big Sick. The Big Sick. I know this movie. I'm pretty sure it shouldn't be on the list. Yeah, it's Kamal Nanjiani. Yeah, it shouldn't be on this list. Sorry, not in the top 100. What are you, crazy? It's Rick Sanchez and Daniel Radcliffe as Mikey. Alex Ogle. Clearly, this is a list of someone who has only just recently been paid to compose the list, and I didn't have time for nor inclination to research, so went to some websites. Yeah, it's just, you know, for Rotten Tomatoes, you would have thought they would have had a meeting, maybe, and that some people in the meeting would have had degrees in film that weren't woke. You know, I mean, my college professors in film would have put together a list, and I would have disagreed with some of it, but at least it would have been a list of movies you'd go, maybe, you know, it would be close. The movies that they would put on you would disagree with would be at least in the ballpark of a classic. But some of these movies haven't even been around long enough to be considered a classic. Like, they have to be around a while. Indie Phantom. The list took KK's advice. Put chicks in it and make them lame and gay. Yeah. Grave of the Fireflies, 1988. I don't know this movie. Oh, it's an anime? Anime should probably be not included in a list like this. It should probably just be live action. Carter Chain is here. Hello, Tony. Mr. Mom is my favorite Mother's Day movie. Well, we're doing the Rotten Tomatoes list. We did Mother's Day movies last time, but that is a good movie. I wouldn't put it in the top 100 of all time. Maybe if I was doing comedies. Indie Phantom, Rotten Tomatoes made a huge deal promoting this list. LeMay, okay, how about Princess Iron Fan? It was before CCP. Princess Iron Fan was Asia's first feature-length animated film. Is one of the reasons why anime exists. Yeah, maybe. Maybe that would be the only anime movie you'd put on there. Rick Sanchez, is Scream a classic? It is not. It's not even a good movie in my view. JC, that's an anime movie. Ghibli movie, very depressing. Alex Ogle, every black and white film on this list is only there to make the list look like it has historical legitimacy and is the least likely to have anything problematical. Or if it does, it doesn't matter because it's a black and white film. But like, I mean, the bar does kind of go up for those 1940s films. Like, they gotta be so good that they endure. But I don't know. If you're gonna put a movie like Grave of the Fireflies, 1988 anime, there's probably at least 100 animes you'd put ahead of it. 64, The 400 Blows. I don't know this one either. 400 Blows. A young prison boy, Antonio Dono. Life is one difficult situation after another, surrounded by inconsiderate adults. Like, what the hell is this? It's another art house flick. Maybe? Kind Hearts and Coronets, 1949. When his mother eloped with an Italian opera singer, Louis Mazzini was cut off from an aristocratic family. I never heard of that movie either, so no idea. JC, there's about 6 Ghibli movies I would put on the list before Grave of the Fireflies. Rick Sanchez, Wes Craven insists Scream will be a classic. I don't think so. I think it's kind of forgettable because it's so meta. It's dependent upon you knowing movies, slasher movies from the 80s, and they're rapidly fading away, I think. Alex Ogle, no, they will have scrubbed the black and white movies for anything objectionable, so you will not see anything truly great. Alex, Indie Phantom, 400 Blows was porn, I thought. It is? Oh, you're making a joke. Ardent, GTG help one of the kiddos with their homework. Catch you later. Catch you later, Ardent. Alex, now, Kind Hearts and Coronets is truly great Ealing comedy. I encourage everyone to watch it. Okay, so Alex saw it. All right, have not seen it. Okay, 62, The Pianist. Okay, I could see it being on the list. Yeah, I could see it being on the list. I mean, it's got rave reviews. It's yeah, okay, maybe. At 62, sure. Rick Sanchez, Wes said that it spawned at 100 genres, and that's why it will be a classic. No. Scream is like downstream from, I mean, slasher movies, like the original slasher movie was this weird movie. I forget what it was called. But like Jason did it before him. Alex, Kind Hearts is an early vehicle for Alec Guinness. Oh, neat. 61, this is so wrong. Mission Impossible Dead Reckoning Part 1. It just doesn't belong on here. No. Before Apocalypse Now. It's 61. Apocalypse Now is 70. You're saying this movie's better than Apocalypse Now. Get the F out of here. And it's infuriating. Alex. Oh, no, I'm sorry. JC, Black Christmas. We haven't gotten to that yet. 60, The Kid. Now, that one's Charlie Chaplin, I think. Yeah, that one I remember. So, yeah, that belongs on the list. Number 59, Get Out. No, it doesn't belong on the list. It's okay. It's got some moments. It's a weird movie. It's not a classic movie. Okay, it's Jordan Peele's best movie, I guess, but if you were making a list of Jordan Peele movies, it would be at the top, I guess, but Get Out? You're telling me people 50 years from now, oh, let's watch Get Out. Oh, yes, that's a classic from 2017. No, I don't think they're going to do that. Rick Sanchez, Australian film called Brain Dead. JC, Kids, a good one. Alex Ogle, Apocalypse Now needs to be rated much higher, if only for the line, Charlie don't surf. JC, Get Out is cringe. Holly M is here. Psycho is often considered the first slasher movie. There's actually, is that, well, that one was black and white, and the one I'm thinking of was color. Holly M, Get Out was good, but not a classic. This is the woke list, possibly. Alex, at Rick Sanchez, Brain Dead is New Zealand Kiwi, not Aussie. JC, Brain Dead is New Zealand, not Australian. So yeah, get out of this list. 58, Argo? Look, Argo's okay. It's not bad. It shouldn't be on this list. Nah. Alien, yes. I'll put Alien on the list of top 100. 100%. JC, I heard Black Christmas was the first slasher. It's another movie, and I can't think of what it's called. But the movie I'm thinking of was in color, so it probably doesn't predate. Probably doesn't predate Psycho. LeMay. Any Sidney Poitier films? A Raisin in the Sun, Guess Who's Coming to Dinner, or Lilies in the Field? We'll see. JC, Argo was overrated. Yeah, it's pretty good, but it's not in the top 100. I mean, it's a top Ben Affleck film. He directed it. He did a pretty good job. I think he's a better director than he is an actor, but Alien should be on the list. I'll give Alien. 56, Bicycle Thieves. I think so, if I'm remembering correctly. Yeah, this is a classic Italian flick. Antonio Ricci, unemployed Antonio Ricci, is elated when finally he finds work hanging posters around war-torn Rome. Yeah. I haven't seen it, but I remember seeing, I think I talked about it in film aesthetics or something when I was in college. Rick Sanchez, sorry, Alex. JC, in real life, Argo CIA guys used old Jack Kirby concept art for their cover story. Rick Sanchez, sorry, JC. Rick Sanchez doing a lot of apologizing. Bicycle Thieves, yeah, I would potentially put that on. I would have to see it. But yeah, that's totally potential. Okay, 55, North by Northwest. 100% I would put that on there. It's one of my favorite films. Rick Sanchez. Zinija. What? Rick Sanchez, are you okay? Did you have a stroke, Rick Sanchez? North by Northwest should be on the list. No question. It's a great film. Awesome film, I think. I love it. One of Hitchcock's best, I think. The Wages of Fear? 1953? I don't know. Let's see. The Wages of Fear. Well, they remade it this year. In a decrepit South American village, 4 men are hired to transport an urgent nitroglycerin shipment without the equipment that would make it safe. Oh, that sounds like a good movie. Sounds like an awesome movie. That sounds awesome. I think I would totally see that. Rick Sanchez. Zingaya is a film called Brain Dead. Check it out. Oh, okay. Alex, Italian films are such a range. A friend introduced me to Amici May. Hilarious comedy with a range of jokes, including a man pooping into a baby's potty when at a very drunk party. It sounds fun. He let the parents argue who has been feeding what to the child. Oh, okay. So they think it's the kid. I kind of like Wages of Fear. That might be awesome. It Happened One Night. Oh, that sounds super familiar. I think I know this movie. Yeah, okay. So this is Frank Capra and Clark Gable. So maybe, yeah. I mean, it probably doesn't hold up, but maybe it does. I don't know. The Maltese Falcon. Absolutely. Yeah, sure. That belongs on the list. Okay. The Dark Knight 2008. As much as I love Batman, and as much as it pains me to say, no, this doesn't belong on the list. I mean, it's good. I like it. In the top 100? Maybe in the top 200? I don't think it belongs on the list. Indie Phantom. Sorcerer is a great William Friedkin flick with the same premise as Wages of Fear. Oh, interesting. Just about anything from Friedkin would probably make the list for me. JC, love It Happened One Night. Rick Sanchez's Tastes Like Brick Meat. Alex Ogle, prediction, Debbie Does Dallas is number 15. Rick Sanchez, Cavill or GTFO? Holly M. Yes, It Happened One Night. A classic, great movie. All right. I know I've heard of it, but I don't think I've seen it. But Maltese Falcon, I mean, come on. That should probably be in the top 10. But The Dark Knight? I don't know what you're doing here. Dark Knight is a bit overrated. Joker steals the show, but needed to be cut down. It feels like it ends and then goes on for another 40 minutes. Yeah, like, I like it a lot, but I don't know. Top 100 is... Now looking at this list, I'm not even... I'm questioning my Terminator thing at the start of this. But I really like Terminator. LeMay, is the Ten Commandments or Ben-Hur on the list? It better be. Number 50. So we're in the top 50 now. Before Sunrise. I'm going to say it probably doesn't belong on this list, but let's see. On the Way to Vienna, American Jesse, Ethan Hawke meets Celine, a student returning to Paris. I don't know this movie. Anybody know this movie? Before Sunrise? I mean, it doesn't look awful. Alex at LeMay, if not, then a crime has been committed. Before Sunrise? I don't know. Number 49, Paddington 2. No. Look, Paddington Bear is a classic. I think it was a children's book, right? But Paddington 2? What? No. I haven't seen it. I haven't even seen the trailer. But I'm going to go out on a limb and say, no, it doesn't belong in the top 100 movies of all time. Ahead of many of the movies we talked about. What kind of crazy list? This is an infuriating list. An infuriating list. I'm getting very angry. JC, It Happened One Night is the one where they're trying to hitchhike with no luck until the girl lifts up her skirt and shows some leg. Oh, I remember that. And then the passing car screeches to a halt to pick them up. Ah, okay, now I remember it. I don't think I've ever seen the whole thing. LeMay at Alex, the creator of this list is a pleb. Holly M, seems like the people making the list did not study cinema. If they do, we are all doomed. Alex, only Paddington worthy of broadcast was the 1970s TV show. Yeah, Paddington 2, just doesn't belong on the list. Like, top 100 movies of all time. Like, in the meeting, it should have been, hey, what about Paddington 2? No, that's not. Just cross that off. And then he should have just moved on. It should have just been dismissed out of hand. You're telling me Paddington 2 was better than The Maltese Falcon? No, I'm pretty sure not. I'm pretty sure I'm confident in saying that Paddington 2, not 1, but 2, is not better than The Maltese Falcon. Jesus, criminies. Number 48, Psycho. Yes, belongs on the list, 100%. As opposed for the shot-by-shot remake of Psycho. Even the shot-for-shot remake of Psycho would come ahead of Paddington 2. 47, Double Indemnity. Yes, belongs on the list. JC, better than Alien? Paddington 2's better than Alien? I love Alien, so I'll have to disagree with you there. Number 46, The Wizard of Oz. Sure, deserves to be on the list. Another classic. All right, we're getting into some classic territory now. Alex Ogle, Paddington's voice will be forever that of Michael Hordern. Or Hordern. Number 45, Goodfellas. Sure, belongs on the list. For me, it does anyway. It's pretty classic. Number 44, The Wrestler. It's a pretty good movie. I could see it being on the list, but not ahead of the last 5 movies I've mentioned. Not ahead of Goodfellas, Wizard of Oz, Double Indemnity, Psycho, and Paddington. Paddington it could be ahead of. Yeah, The Wrestler should probably be closer to the bottom. It's not a bad movie. It's pretty damn good. Mickey Rourke gives a great performance, but... Number 43, Toy Story 4? It's pretty decent movie at 43. And the movies of all time, better than The Good, the Bad, the Ugly, you're telling me. Better than Psycho. No. I don't even think this should probably be in the top 100. I'm trying to remember which storyline this was. Is this the one where they almost die and get put into the fire? Because I think that's probably the best one and probably where it should have ended. So I think that's this one. Maybe. But maybe in the top 100. But not this high on the list. I don't even think it would make it on the top 100. I think here's what would happen. I'd start making the list, and I'd start putting movies above it, right? So say Toy Story 4 popped into my head. Oh yeah, Toy Story 4. And I put that on the list first. And then I'd start stacking movies on top of it. Until finally I'd look at the list. Okay, let's see what I have for my top 100 movies. And Toy Story would be like, I don't know, probably 108, somewhere down there. At best. Alex, the way this list is going, I'm waiting for Rocky 5 to make an appearance. JC, Wrestler's good. More like top 500, though. Indy Phantom, here we go with every Toy Story movie making the list. JC, not even Toy Story 3 or 2 or the original. JC, that's the third one. Yeah, I don't know. Again, I don't know. Like, it's better than Harry Potter, I would say, but... JC, I'd put the original Toy Story for historical reasons. Number 42, M. Yes. I have heard of this movie. It's Fritz Lang. Classic German thriller, Hans Beckert, Peter Lorre, a serial killer who preys on children, becomes the focus of a massive Berlin police manhunt. Yes, that... Oh, come on! Knives Out 2019. Go F yourself, Rotten Tomatoes. F you. This shouldn't be on anybody's best list. F Knives Out and Rian Johnson. JC, M is a classic. Holly, M is a classic. JC, Peter Lorre. Knives Out. Oh, but Knives Out is better, everyone. Jesus criminies, you should take that right off the list. I could knock this list down to about 30, I think. At Alex at Holly, M I'd rank highly if I could reach the keyboard. Jesus. Knives Out. What a suck list. Holly, M, LOL. Number 40, Lord of the Rings, The Two Towers. I do really like Lord of the Rings. So, yes. Again, kind of high. Number 39, Let the Right One In. Ooh, I do like that movie. Kind of high on the list at 39, but maybe. Number 38, Dr. Strangelove or How I Learned to Stop Worrying and Love the Bomb. Yes, a classic. Definitely belongs on this list. Rick Sanchez, have you ever watched the beginning of Saving Private Ryan while timing the time to blow load? No. Why would you do that, Rick Sanchez? Rick, you're better than that. Don't work blue. Alex, Tron deserves a placement above The Shower because it's a callback to Metropolis. Maybe. Now we're high on the list. And, Jesus. 37 is Inside Out. Go F yourself, list. Go F yourself. Does not belong on here at all. Alex, Dr. Strangelove is superb. Glad that made the list at least. JC, Dr. Strangelove is one of my least favorite Kubrick movies. Oh, I like it. I like it a lot because I love Peter Sellers. Inside Out, not belonging anywhere near this list. The Holdovers. What the hell are the Holdovers? Didn't this movie just come out? The Holdovers? Oh, right. This is the Paul Giamatti movie. I don't know, man. Again, it's like too soon. I didn't see it. but I've heard good things. I like Paul Giamatti. I don't know, the top 100 movies of all time. JC, Tron is not a good movie. JC, Inside Out is good, but not top 50. Holly M, number 1 is Showgirls, and I am just telling you now. Yeah, if it's Showgirls, then they're just trolling us. Rick Sanchez, now I have to go watch the opening scene of Saving PR. All right? Go calm yourself down. The Holdovers, yeah, it's probably, even if this movie is as good as the people think it is, it should probably not be on the list yet. I mean, number 35 is Cool Hand Luke. Yes, that's a classic movie. Sure, I would put it on the list. I love it. Number 34 is Annie Hall, another classic movie. Yes, I think that rates as a classic. I used to love Woody Allen. I think that holds up. Still pretty good. Number 33, Citizen Kane. That's a bit low for Citizen Kane. So I could see why people are going to be infuriated by the next words coming out of my mouth, because above Citizen Kane, now you're saying this movie is better than Citizen Kane, and all the movies I'm about to tell you are better than Citizen Kane. At 32, Zootopia. No. Zootopia shouldn't even make the list. Zootopia? Are you people nuts? This list is... You were right about this list, Indie Phantom. No. Zootopia should not be anywhere near this list. It shouldn't... The person who suggested this should have been fired in the meeting. Oh, I got a suggestion for the best movie of all time, Zootopia. Get out. Clear out your desk. Clear out your desk. I want you gone by 2 o'clock. That should have been the response. Alex Ogle, there we go. 33 is the benchmark. Above all that is crap. Holly M, Citizen Kane is probably one of the best movies ever made. Who wrote this list? This college kids who are protesting? Sounds like it. Yeah, usually Citizen Kane is number 1 or number 2. Selma, 2014? No, I'm not even sure it belongs on the list. This sounds like a very woke list now. That you put Selma above Citizen Kane. Indie Phantom, RT needs to be canceled. Yes. JC, Selma is a complete piece of S. Absolute garbage. The woman who directed it should have been run out of Hollywood. Like, what? Number 30, Three Colors Red, 1994. I don't know what this movie is. Part-time model Valentine meets a retired judge who lives in her neighborhood after she runs over his dog. So yeah, it sounds classic. Did anybody see this flick? Indie Phantom, surprised Barbie hasn't shown up yet. Yeah. Three Colors Red. Number 29, The Godfather Part 2. Well, that certainly deserves to be on the list. I love The Godfather Part 2. Holly M, this is why Hollywood is losing money on the movies they're making. LeMay, oh, I saw Selma in college. It was meh. JC, Colors Red is a weird art movie. Number 28 is Coco. What the hell is Coco? What the F? No, Coco should not be on this list. Off the list with you. I heard Coco in my brain, and I immediately thought of that cartoon, but I said to myself, no, they couldn't have nominated that cartoon. It had to be called something else, like Coco in Brazil or whatever the hell. Nope, it's that stupid cartoon from a few years ago. That's insane. This is an insane list. Sunset Boulevard. Okay. Back on track. Yeah. I could see this being on the list. Haven't seen it. Indie Phantom. Godfather 2, one of the few sequels that earns a spot. LeMay, I see another Ghibli movie. JC, Sunset Boulevard is a great one. Carter Chain, but my mom loves Coco. Did your mom make this list? Number 26, Toy Story 3. Yeah, Toy Story should probably just get a one slot at this at best, and I don't think it would make the cut. I think if I stack these all up, again, it wouldn't make the cut. It would get pushed off the top 100. Number 25, 12 Angry Men. Yes. Yes on 12 Angry Men. Sure. That's a classic film about a jury, if you haven't seen it. It's been parodied a million times. Alex, I'm expecting with the current day events that Triumph of the Will by Leni Riefenstahl will make an appearance yet. Holly M. Sunset Boulevard is one of my favorite movies of all time. Me and JC need to hang out. LOL. LeMay, why is Spirited Away ranked higher in this grave than Grave of the Fireflies? I don't know. I haven't gotten there. 24, Singing in the Rain. Sure, that should be on the list. I wouldn't put it that high because I don't like musicals, but sure. Number 23, Finding Nemo. No, probably wouldn't make the cut. It's pretty good. It's not a bad movie, I think, but yeah, I wouldn't put it this high up. And Toy Story, I mean, you people are Pixar junkies. Number 22, The Philadelphia Story, 1940. A classic romantic comedy. Tracy Lord, Katharine Hepburn, and Cary Grant. Don't remember this movie. Probably deserves a nod. Jesus criminy. Number 21, Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse? No. Absolutely not. Get off this list. Hey, Stranger Mosh. One day my father bought 12 Angry Men on DVD and sat me down so we'd watch it. He really was stoked about showing me a very old movie, so I was curious and I wasn't disappointed. Yeah, it's a great flick. Jack Klugman's in it. Harry Fonda. Philadelphia Story doesn't hold up. It's cute though. Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse has no business being here. Spotlight, 2015. Mark Ruffalo. Oh, come on, I saw this movie. This is the whole Catholic Church scandal. Hold on, I gotta shut some of these tabs before I. Sorry, I got too many tabs open here. Yeah, the Mark Ruffalo movie. No, it's a perfectly functional enough movie about the Catholic Church and their various scandals, but come on. It's not that good. It's not the top 100 movies of all time. Alex Ogle, this list was compiled by various Twitter polls. Probably. LeMay, was this made by a Zoomer? Probably. Oh, here's one of my favorites. Definitely deserves to be on this list. The Third Man. Love this movie. Orson Welles. I think it's his best. Man, I saw this in the theaters. They were showing it somewhere in Philly. Man, it's friggin' awesome. It's way ahead of its time. It's way ahead of its time, too. Alex Ogle. This list is gay. Number 18, Up. I really like Up. Probably should be, if I had to pick an animated movie for Pixar, I think that's their best. I would put it way down on the list, but it is very good, I'll say. The opening sequence alone merits some sort of acknowledgement. It's way better than Toy Story, I think. But I don't even know. Again, I don't know if it would make the cut. So, but 18, you're insane. You're insane. You Zoomers. Spirited Away. I know this is a classic, although I haven't seen it. So maybe but not this high. 17's too high. All About Eve. Classic? Yes. Betty Davis. I know that movie. Yes. How to Train Your Dragon doesn't belong on the list. I mean, it's not bad. I watched it. What the hell are you talking about? The 15th greatest movie of all time, you pick How to Train Your Dragon? What are you, just picking movies you saw? Indie Phantom. If I had a Pixar, it is Wall-E or Ratatouille. Wall-E is very good. Ratatouille I like. Not as much. But Up, that opening scene, I like that a lot. Modern Times, this is Charlie Chaplin. So yeah, yes to that. Rear Window, yes. Love me some Rear Window. Absolutely. Gotta love Rear Window. Holly M, I think this is an AI list. Possibly. That would explain a lot. Number 12 is Toy Story. No, not that high. I would take it. It would get pushed off. Number 11, Battle of Algiers from 1966. Don't really know this movie. Maybe. I don't know. Anybody see this? JC, if you're going to put a Pixar movie, you should just play it safe and say the first Toy Story and leave everything else off. Yeah, but where would you put it? I would put it pretty far down on the list, right? I'd put it at 100. Maybe. You know, just to say, well, I want to acknowledge Pixar and Toy Story, but Indie Phantom, Rear Window, one of the best single location picks. So awesome. If you haven't seen Rear Window, oh, what a movie. Number 10, On the Waterfront. We're in the top 10, everybody. Okay, On the Waterfront. Classic movie. Classic movie. Number 9, Chinatown. Absolutely. Classic movie. Absolutely classic. No argument there. JC, put Toy Story in the mid-30s or 40s range. Indie Phantom, I stopped after Toy Story 2. Alex at LeMay, I think you're right. This list shows signs of severe derangement, clearly the product of a transzoomer. Number 8, Toy Story 2. No, it doesn't belong here. You're not in the top 10 movies of all time. LeMay, hee hee. Number 7, Top Gun Maverick. No, too high. Way too high. Way too high for Top Gun Maverick. It's a good movie. I might put it in the top 100, maybe. It's really good, but of all time, I don't know. It hasn't been out long enough to endure. Indie Phantom, Chinatown is excellent. Oh, it's so good. But Top Gun? Maverick? No. Schindler's List. Maybe. Should certainly be in the top. Top list. It's pretty good. Probably top 100. I could see why they picked it. It's not a bad choice. Alex Ogle, if they don't have The Hill, then I don't understand cinema. They don't understand cinema. Indie Phantom. Maverick, probably around 250, to be honest. Yeah, I mean, so many movies ahead of it. Maybe in 20 years you could look back and decide, but number 5, Parasite. I didn't see this movie. I suspect they're rating it high for woke reasons. It looks fine, but it certainly shouldn't be number 5. No. I can't think of a single movie in the last 5 years that should be rated this high, but I suspect Godzilla Minus One might be rated high enough that it would be in the top 20, because I've heard such amazing things about it, but beyond that, I don't know, man. You're crazy to put it number 5 in the movies of all time. You're nuts. Holly M, it was a streetcar named Desire on the list. I came in late. Haven't gotten to it yet. Not in the top 100. There was a 300 on the list, but I didn't do the first. I didn't do 200 to or the 200s and 300s. Number 4, The Seven Samurai. Yes, yes, it should be on the list. Number 3, Casablanca. Yes. Number 2, The Godfather. Yes. And number 1, the number 1 movie of all time, according to Rotten Tomatoes, L.A. Confidential? What? No. No. Now that's a good movie. I like L.A. Confidential, but the best movie of all time? Yeah, this was made by a Zoomer. JC, Seven Samurai is a good one. Man, you almost had me. These guys go like 4 or 5. I feel like they took a list that was already made. JC, what? Yeah, like LA Confidential? Indie Phantom, I am waiting to see the American remake of Parasite just to piss everyone on Letterboxd off by saying it's better. Holly M, LOL. JC, I couldn't even finish LA Confidential. Indie Phantom, Spacey is redeemed. Excuse me a sec. Oh, man. Allergies killing me today. Alex Ogle, Memento knocks most of that top list into a cocked hat. Yeah, it's like you could just go through and knock off, I'd say, 70 of these movies, and you'd be down with a list that was at least, you couldn't argue that they should be on a list. You'd just be arguing their placement. But my God, what an absolute clown show. I mean, The Good, the Bad, the Ugly was on it. Unforgiven's not on it. I mean, that's a great movie. Tombstone's not on it. Holly M, Exorcist, not in the top 100. Yeah, that's one I would put on there. Serpico, Dog Day Afternoon, probably be on my list. Indie Phantom, where was 2001? Yep. Where was The Shining? I love The Shining. Alex at Holly M, precisely. Alex at Indie Phantom, just so. Who else should be on this list? A Touch of Evil probably should be on this list. What else? There's so much else. You got Psycho, you got North by Northwest. So you're covered on, and Rear Window. So you're covered on Hitchcock. Vertigo probably should be on this list. It's a Wonderful Life. That should probably be on it. A Clockwork Orange, says JEC. Yep, that should be on the list. Possibly Wizards. Ralph Bakshi. That could be on the list. Some Like It Hot. That usually makes the list. JC, Nosferatu. That should be on the list. Indie Phantom, Shawshank Redemption usually hits the top 5. I don't know if I put it that high, but that should probably be on the list. Alex at JC, I watched that on the flight home from Taiwan. Great, but a little too much for a top. Barry Lyndon should be up there. Roman Holiday, says JEC. JC, Taxi Driver. Yep, that's another good one. JC, Raging Bull. Yep. Rocky. First Rocky should be on the list. Maybe even the second one. I mean, Stranger Mosh. Haven't you already mentioned The Lord of the Rings trilogy. Haven't heard you mention the Lord of the Rings trilogy. Yes, the Two Towers was on this list. Star Wars, maybe, says Indie Phantom. Yeah, I mean, in the top 100, it would be somewhere. I don't know. You, J.C. Fargo. Oh boy, we got to get into the Coen Brothers movies. Miller's Crossing. Maybe the first Matrix. Alex Ogle. Where was the Phantom Menace? Not on this list. J.C. Raising Arizona. I love that movie. J.C. The only Lord of the Rings movies was the worst one. The Two Towers he's referring to. God. No David Lynch movies? What's the one I like? Blue Velvet? Could have maybe put that on the list. Jeez. And there's a bunch of like old movies you'd have to go through. I mean, defending, there's no Buster Keaton, no Harold Lloyd. Indie Phantom, Platoon, Butch Cassidy and Sundance Kid should absolutely be on this list. The French Connection, JC, RoboCop, Terminator 2. Yeah, I would put that in my top 100. Indie Phantom. Yes, Blue Velvet. LeMay, I Arrived Late. Was a Tarantino movie on this list? No, and probably the only one I guess that would get on here is probably Pulp Fiction. Yeah, that would probably be the only one that would kind of rank. Alex Ogle, Commando was better written and filmed than most of the other crap on that list. I do love me some Commando. Where's Sully? I let him go. I love when during that era of Commando, Arnold would always give the female lead instructions on how to shoot the guns. Like he would explain, you have to look down the barrel and look at this little bit and point and aim and shoot, and then they could shoot and they could help him. And he does that in Commando, but only it's with a bazooka. Yeah, I mean, you're talking about the greatest movies of all time. Holly M, Rebel Without a Cause. Yep. Yes, no classic like Howard Lloyd, not even a Charlton Heston movie. Yep. Ten Commandments, somebody mentioned that. Indie Phantom, Pulp Fiction better than LA Confidential. Yeah. JC, Monty Python and the Holy Grail. Yeah. How about The Life of Brian? I mean, that one's really good too. The Mel Brooks movies. Where's Blazing Saddle? Where's Blazing Saddles? Blazing Saddles should absolutely be in the top 100. It would be in my top 100. Possibly The History of the World Part 1, but that would probably maybe not make the cut. JC, High Noon, another classic. Oh my God, there's so many movies these people haven't seen. Young Frankenstein probably should be on the list. JC, Ed Wood. Ed Wood is pretty good. I don't think it would make the top 100, but the first Pirates movie is really good. I mean, just for Johnny Depp. Johnny Depp movies. Indie Phantom, No Goldfinger or Bond. Yep. Patton, JC. Yep. Another classic. Marathon Man. I love that friggin' movie. Oh, I love me some Marathon Man. Jesus. I might have to do my own version of this. I know I'll get exhausted after about 200 movies on the list. I mean, there's so many movies on this list that just don't belong on the list. Just too many. You know? No Rat Pack movies. I mean, maybe they don't hold up, but I don't know. Put at least one on the list. JC, Night of the Living Dead. Alex Ogle, Marathon Man. I'd take The Running Man over this list. Yeah. Uh, who else? Oh, what about Animal House? Forgot about Animal House. That should be on the list. That would be on my top 100 list, guaranteed. I'd have a lot of comedies though. And Landis made some great movies. American Werewolf in London. He's got a lot of movies. The Thing should have been on this list. I love The Thing. First Halloween is brilliant. I love that. Holly. These people need to be locked in a room with some real movies, but then again, they might blow their top being so many people are not offended by everything. Yeah. Oh, Blues Brothers. I love Blues Brothers. It'd probably be on my list. Indie Phantom, Beverly Hills Cop. I don't know if that would make the cut for me, but it is a really good movie. The first one's really good. And then it goes straight downhill after that. I remember including stand-up movies. I would include Raw. Eddie Murphy's Raw is really good. But then you've got all Richard Pryor's stand-up movies, and you got some Richard Pryor movies. You got Gene Wilder and Richard Pryor. I mean, you got Willy Wonka. Well, Richard Pryor's not in that. You got Silver Streak. JC, Total Recall. Yeah, I mean, I don't think it would make the top 100, but I do love that movie. That's Sharon Stone at her absolute peak hotness. Holy cow, when I saw Sharon Stone for the first time in that movie, I was like, holy F. That is the hottest woman I've ever seen. Alex, I'm with Holly. Showgirls should have been at the top. JC, One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest. Yes. Oh my God, Jack Nicholson movies. Besides The Shining, besides Chinatown, The Postman Always Rings Twice. That usually makes the list. Indie Phantom. Delirious is even less PC than Raw, but not really a movie like Raw. What else? What else? God, there's so many. It's just so many ahead of this. You know, it kind of, it's real. I'll give them this. It is really tough to stack, different kinds of movie against each other. You have to figure out a metric, like, what's an important movie versus what. I mean, even like I mentioned Blow Up. Now thinking about it, I don't even think that would make the cut. It, maybe because of its importance it would. If I skewed the metric more for important movies than popular movies, or, because it's not a particularly popular movie. But then if you went popular, you would end up with just a bunch of stuff I liked. So that's why I question whether or not even Terminator would make the top 100. King Kong, says JEC, the original King Kong. Yeah, that's an important movie. The Conversation, yeah. Alex, I think we have a shot at the top future list with our pitch for a live-action She-Ra with Sydney Sweeney to star and lots of gratuitous close-ups for the art. Yes. JC, the first Superman movie? Maybe. I don't know if it would make the cut, but it's pretty good. And the second one is good too. Holly M. Yeah, but they have movies like How to Train Your Dragon and Toy Story. Somebody was paid by the studios to do this list. Well, the problem with Rotten Tomatoes, I think, it is owned by a studio. I think Warner Brothers. I want to say Warner Brothers owns Rotten Tomatoes. And yet somehow Warner Brothers things don't end up at the top. Here's the weird thing. The Spider-Man cartoon movies made it on the list, but not Spider-Man No Way Home. Now, I don't think Spider-Man No Way Home would make the top 100 cut, although I really like it. But how do you put the cartoons on and not that movie? It's like they were trying to make a woke list, but then they had to go, Oh no, we have to put all these other movies on it too because everybody puts them on their list. JC, Wild Bunch, yep. LeMay, most influential or popular movies. Alex Ogle, Disney owns RT. Really? Well, then that's weird because there's a lot of classic Disney movies that left off this list, like Fantasia. That should have probably been on the list. Alex Ogle, or they used to. What else? Gosh, Snow White. Snow White saved Disney. It saved Disney. It put them on the map and saved the studio. They were in not great shakes when that movie came out. So, and I would say Fantasia and Snow White still hold up. So maybe that would be the metric, whether or not the movies still hold up to some extent. JC, yeah, no, Snow White. JC, Pinocchio, yeah, another one, another classic. Trying to think some live action Disney movies. I mean, I'm sure there's some of them. I mean, even if you just went through top movie list of all time and said, you know, included some and dropped others and just started ranking them. You know what? Let me look at Ranker. Top movies of all time. Ranker. Because I'm interested to see how Ranker would put the top crowd ranked. Here's something called crowd ranked. Oh, this is Ranker. Okay. Indie Phantom. Was Jaws or any Spielberg there? No. Yeah, I forgot about Jaws. By the way, the swimmer from Jaws, the first one that gets killed, the hot chick, she just passed. She was 77. JC, they weren't in good shape when Snow White came out because Walt sunk all their money into it. JC, Lion King, Beauty and the Beast, Holly M. A lot of old Disney movies like Snow White, they don't hold up in the woke world. They have been trying to redo for years. I'm just curious to see what Ranker ranks the top 10 real quick. So Shawshank Redemption is number 1. Saving Private Ryan's number 2. The Dark Knight's number 3. Forrest Gump's number 4. The Silence of the Lambs number 5. Lord of the Rings Return of the King number 6. Jurassic Park number 7. Oops, sorry. Back to the Future, forgot about them, is number 8. 9 is The Lion King. 10 is The Lord of the Rings, The Fellowship of the Ring. And 11 is The Green Mile. So that's a more respectable list, I'll say, than the list I just read. So at least people are voting on this. JC, I'm not feeling this list either. Yeah, neither am I, but it's better. It's not all time by any stretch, but it's better than the list we just read, I think. I mean, you can make arguments for these movies. You can't really make an argument for How to Train Your Dragon being in the top 20. That's like, there's no argument there. You've effed up. All right. The Third Man. Oh, man, that's such a good movie. It'll blow your mind. It'll blow your mind. The ending of that will blow your damn mind. JC, Shawshank. I never got why it's always ranked so high. I think people just really like it. You know, it's such a good feeling movie. You know, I like it a lot. I wouldn't put it at number 1, but I'd probably put it in the top. It might make my top 100. JC, love The Third Man. Oh, the ending just blew me away. All right, let's get into some trade stuff. So apes dominate. Apes good, man bad. JC, it's not a good feeling. It's depressing as hell. Well, we'll try to cheer you up. JEC. Roger Corman, pioneering independent producer and king of B movies, dies at 98. Oh, sorry. No, we already knew that. But 98's a good run. I'll give him that. I never wanted to see him die, but let me see if I can find a headline to cheer up JEC. Maya Rudolph channels Beyonce and Madonna in SNL opening number. Did that just make you throw up a little bit in your mouth? Because it did for me. Here you go. That 90s show sets premiere dates for parts 2 and 3 at Netflix. I know you're desperate to see the 90s show, JEC. Jesus. No, it's going to be some grim headlines. Yeah, here's Susan Backliner, who played the first shark attack victim in Jaws, dies at 77. They got a picture of her in the background. I bet she was doing conventions. JC, Maya Rudolph, I don't mind. Okay, well, there you go. Jennifer Lawrence, continuing to get political, slams Mike Pence at GLAAD Media Awards. Conversion therapy isn't real, even though you think it worked on you. Okay. Stunning and brave, Jennifer. God, when her hotness goes, man. When her hotness goes. Yeah, nothing really here. Moving on to Fandom Pulse. X-Men 97 flops. Disney Plus is dead streaming platform. So that's pretty funny. That makes me laugh. I don't know why they did this. JC, Mike Pence, what is this, 2019? No, it's 1997 according to Disney, because I think this was a dumb idea. Mainly because they're coming out with an X-Men movie not too long from now. So even if this had worked, like if they brought back X-Men 97, it was a huge hit. Like, why not just start it all over? Like that, they could have rebooted. And they could have tied it into the movie. JC, Jennifer Lawrence is mid, total ice queen. I don't know, man. That's a hot bod. Still a hot bod, in my view. She's completely naked and no hard feelings. And it's a very funny scene. Not sexy, but hilarious. Yeah, I don't know. This was a dumb idea. But they're probably not ready to go with whatever they're going to do with the X-Men, so they don't know what they're doing. So I guess this was a way to bring it back. But yeah, I mean, like, it ties into its own thing. So it's like X-Men 97's over here. The comics are over here. The movies are going to be over there. The old movies are going to be over there. Like, how many X-Men are you going to do? You're confusing people at some point. You know, somebody's going to be at a yard sale, come across X-Men 97 merch when your movie comes out and be like, oh, this is Gambit. You don't look like the Gambit in the movie. It's like, you know, Japan is really good at that for their movies. They coordinate the cartoons with the live action, with the merchandise, with the comic book. Everything is aligned, I'll say. They don't change it all up because, oh, well, you know, we hired this actor, but they don't want to do any scenes where they have, I don't know, a mask on. So we're gonna take off the goggles off of Cyclops because they don't want to do that. Like, that's the way Hollywood is, I think. That's how you get Sylvester Stallone in Judge Dredd with no mask on half the movie, or no helmet. So, you know, on top of the fact this whole thing kind of flopped. I think Disney Plus itself is just dead. I think the brand is dead. I think it's ridiculous to think, oh my God, food prices are now twice what I'm paying, and I need to see old Disney crap. Like, you can't put out enough product to justify people keeping Disney Plus. The only people keeping Disney Plus, I think, are people who either got it for free, they have more than enough money to waste. Like, I have a relative, he has all the channels, but he makes a decent money. He just wants them all in case he wants to watch them. And he pays, I promise you, he has Disney Plus, and he probably hasn't looked at it once. At some point, he'll finally go, what do I have this for? And he'll cancel it, but, for now, he has a package where he has everything. He has absolutely everything. At some point, he'll just cross it off his list. And at some point, the free ride's going to be over for people who got a phone plan where Disney Plus is included. And then I don't know what they're going to do. Holly M. Doctor Who cannot save Disney Plus. Is that what they're going to do? They're going to put Doctor Who on Disney Plus? Gay Doctor Who? Gay black Doctor Who? With the musical numbers? Jesus, that's bad. It's so bad. Like, okay, gay black Doctor Who is pretty bad. But if it was gay black Doctor Who and he sort of did some sci-fi stuff, I'd be like, well, they're trying to take it in a different direction. I don't like it. Maybe some people do. But gay black Doctor Who in musicals in Doctor Who is just insane. It's like an insane person came up with it. And no one stopped them. No one at the BBC or Disney said, you're insane. Please get out of the conference room. We're going to talk about who we can get to replace you. Holly M. Doctor Who cannot save... Oh, I said that one. And I think it's because of people like this. Sweet Baby Inc. detected Discord hacked after Suicide Squad loss report. So, like, Sweet Baby Inc., I mean, I know that's video games, but in the world of Disney, they don't need a consulting firm to come in and ruin a game. They already ruin their stuff in-house, I think. They save a lot of money that way. We can save more money if we ruin the stuff in-house. Hey, yeah, let's do that. Yeah, why are we hiring the outside consultants to ruin stuff? We could probably ruin this ourselves. Oh, I think we could. Indie Phantom. Gal Gadot, I would sleep with. She can sing Imagine to Me. Okay. Good to know. Like the upcoming Fantastic Four movie for Disney, there's no way this movie's going to be any good. It's got everything going against it. They've got Ralph Ineson as Galactus. John Malkovich is going to be in it. I don't know as who, because they've already cast Silver Surfer and Silver Surfer's girlfriend. They've already cast the Fantastic Four. I have no idea who John Malkovich is even going to be. Like, Frank the Doorman? I mean, who is he going to be? In the Fantastic Four, I guess one of the random characters that they pulled out of their IP list out of Marvel that, may or may not be relevant to comic book fans at this point. They're so off the mark with the Fantastic Four. The one Disney product that should have been a TV show should have been the Fantastic Four. If they had done the Fantastic Four like a superhero soap opera, kind of like Lord of the Rings, not with all the, nudity and death, but like with shocking revelation after shocking revelation, like Kirby kind of intended it, you might have had a shot at building it up and then launch a movie. At least do a season of it. JC the Tinkerer? Maybe. Is that who he's supposed to be? You know that for sure, or you're just guessing. Indie Phantom. Pedro Pascal is a pass for me, just like Mark Ruffalo. Yeah, he's not Mr. Fantastic. Like John Malkovich, he's kind of too old for Mr. Fantastic, but he'd be a little closer, because at least he's kind of like a smart-looking dude. Whereas Pedro Pascal, no. Too handsome boy. Pedro just doesn't fit in the Fantastic Four. He's not burly enough to be Ben. He's too old to be Johnny. He's not female, and he's not quite old enough to be Mr. Fantastic. Especially with that mustache. Nah. JC, I'm just guessing. Who is the dad of the Thing's girlfriend? Oh, maybe it's him? I guess. Yeah, I think it is the Tinkerer. Yeah, or the puppet master maybe, or someone like that. Ugh. It's just doomed. You're gonna swap in a female Silver Surfer. That was announced a while ago. I don't know if it's legit. You're gonna have to introduce the Fantastic Four to the fans, and you're gonna introduce Galactus, which is gonna be their big threat. Like it's not enough time. Like Galactus kind of comes up later. You're not going to be able to do the origin and everything and make it work. Maybe if you start in the middle and already just do a short backstory, maybe you could make it work, but I don't have any hope they can. Indie Phantom, Pedro did a gay cowboy short with Ethan Hawke recently by Almodovar. Yeah, I know. And it got all kinds of buzz, and I don't know why. I guess it's just Hollywood being Hollywood. Oh my God, a gay short story about cowboys. Yes. It's about time. Okay, here's one, and this has been brewing in the background for many weeks. Perhaps some of you have insight to this, I don't know. But there's been a long drama with a guy by the name of Patrick S. Tomlinson. And they call him former sci-fi writer Patrick S. Tomlinson sues the city of Milwaukee because of alleged swatting responses. And this guy has been floating around the comics gators, especially EVS, for a while. But he seems like to me, seems like kind of a drama queen on the internet that he keeps threatening to have people jailed for things that I don't think are illegal in any way. But apparently, I don't know, he seems to be woker than woke. I don't know if anybody has some insight into that. It's very strange to me. JC, hasn't it been a decent Fantastic Four anything since John Byrne? JC, ha 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 ha, fat trick. Fat trick. Are you talking, you're talking about Patrick? Okay, that's pretty funny. He doesn't seem that fat, but it's pretty funny diss. JC, you should listen to the Josiah tapes where Patrick freaks out and screams at the guy. All right, I might. This was a good story this week. Sword and Scandal brings Not Safe for Work Danger back to fiction. This guy is raising an Indiegogo deal, and you can, I think you can pitch or submit stories. So if anybody's interested in doing a sword and sorcery type story and get involved as part of an anthology, I don't think it's comics. I think it's going to be stories, like prose stories. But this is an article in Fandom Pulse, so if anybody's interested, I may do it. I'll have to remember, because I think he's raising the money first, and then later he's going to offer the submissions. I'm not sure what the rules are going to be. Indie Phantom, internet drama queen seems refreshing. JC, I'm deep into Fatrick lore. JC, I'm going to send you some Fatrick links. Oh, okay. I'll look at it later. Thanks. I knew somebody would have some info, and I'm not surprised it was you, JC. He's always on the cusp. This guy, JC's always on the cusp. All right. More gay Doctor Who news. So this article, Nakuti, Gatwa, Russell T Davies signal upcoming Doctor Who Space Babies will be a politically driven nightmare for fans. And it sounds like it's true, but like, it's incredibly, it's just like, if you were to say 20 years ago, go back in time and say, I want to make a gay black Doctor Who, and I'm going to make it all musicals, people would say, you're just being you're just being a stereotypical jerk because you're saying all gay people want show tunes. And yet that's kind of what he's doing. It's like, it's even gayer than you could possibly imagine, in my view. I mean, look at the clips of this show. It's crazy. It's absolutely crazy, this Doctor Who show. It's unwatchable to me, but like, I keep dipping into the clips and going, oh my God, it's even worse now. Like, initially they had some Doctor Who stuff, and it was like a bunch of theater majors trying to do Doctor Who, like, in the most over-the-top way possible. Oh, I just got your text or a link or whatever. Thank you, JEC. But, like, you know, now they have a new villain, the Maestro, who's trans, I guess, and use they, them pronouns, and it's just like, it's just like they push it off the gay cliff. And now it's unrecognizable. It's like, who the hell is this even for? Like, the only people I could think of who would be interested in watching Doctor Who now are angry gay fans who desperately wanted the show to be incredibly gay, like their fanfic. And then now it is. Now it's like so over the top gay, they love it. But like, I don't even think. I mean, I'm pretty sure regular gay people are just like, I don't even watch Doctor Who. I don't know why anybody would, right? Because they're too busy living their lives and doing something productive. You know, it would only be for the hardcore Doctor Who gay fan nerds, but not even just the gay nerds, but the ones who are so drilled down into the culture war that they think everything should be gay. So it's like almost like watching mental illness presented on screen. That's kind of how I see it. Because like, your work comes out of your mind and what you're thinking of. And I can't imagine someone who, like Russell T Davies is a guy who's produced a bunch of stuff. I can't imagine that he sits around all day saying, I've got to do more musical numbers in 2024. Like, musical numbers aren't popular. Like, what musical show was popular? Like, maybe you could argue High School Musical was popular at the time, but it was aimed at kids, and you know, you had pop music guys, and like, maybe, and that was kind of popular, I guess, for a little window of time. But you're talking about geeks. You're talking about hardcore Doctor Who fans who were hanging on by the skin of their teeth already after the Jodie Whittaker fiasco. And now, like, there's just not going to be anything of the fan base left, in my view. Stranger Mosh. Maybe the producers secretly hate Doctor Who and gay people, so they're doing this as a psyop. That makes more sense than what they're doing. Like, to say you're doing this to make the show better and to get more fans doesn't make any sense. To saying that this is going to appeal to critics makes no sense. Even critics wouldn't look at this and go, wow, that's innovative and new. They just look at it and go, oh yeah, that's musicals. I mean, it just doesn't make any sense. You know, it's like, I mean, take anything else. All right, here you got Will Smith and Martin Lawrence, right, in Bad Boys. I think we all know the Bad Boys franchise, right? It's action, a little bit of comedy. Action comedy, right? Action comedy buddy movie. And let's say you want to take that and Doctor Whoify it. Well, you would make them both gay, and then you would take out all the action, or put in action that's it's there, but it doesn't matter because it's really about the music and their relationship. And the comedy would only appeal to the gayest of gay theater majors who would get it. I mean, it would be so unbelievably niche. and you would be driving away millions of fans to pick up a fan base that was so minuscule. If it was a thing, it would have already happened, because they've done this for so many shows. Holly M, I agree that Jody was the worst. Turned me off the show 100%. Yeah, I mean, there's no one left. So the new audience is so minuscule. And so one of the shows, I think, and this is again all coming from Disney, I think this was Disney, was the Pink Ladies. So I guess it was Disney, has the IP to Grease, and so tries to expand the Grease universe by focusing on the origin of the Pink Ladies in a pseudo 1950s high school, which is supposed to be in the 1950s, but clearly isn't portrayed that way. It's clearly portrayed as the wokest 1950s high school you've ever seen, where one of the girls is clearly a trans girl, or a trans man, maybe, like too tomboy for her own good kind of thing. And then probably going to be a lesbian romance in there somewhere. And then it was a musical on top of that, but it was all like super, super feminist, crazy stuff that would have never been in the 1950s. Like, never, not in a million years. Not even close to being anything realistic, in my view. And they pushed that show. Like, it should have been stopped. Like, an executive should have said, this is the dumbest idea I've ever heard. Get out of my office. But instead, they actually produced it. Like, who was it for? Who was it for? Holly Ann, Pink Ladies, I was one and done with it. It was the worst. Yeah, like, who was it even for? Like, it was... Grease is a musical about the 1950s, made in the 1980s, when it was a movie anyway. So at least people from the 50s were still around, a lot of them, and still going to the movies at that point. So you could see it then. Now you're talking 2024. It's now been 70 plus years since the 50s. Mostly everyone from that era is gone. Not to be gruesome or anything. Sure, there's a few left. Do you think they're going to waste their time with the Pink Ladies? Especially when you aimed it at a younger audience? No. No, not at all. You would have been better off making it about, okay, here's the rise of the new Pink Ladies in 2024. Then maybe you could have said, something. Indie Phantom, Paramount did the crappy Pink Ladies, and they're turning most of their movie IPs into failed series. They did Fatal Attraction and American Gigolo too. Yeah, I think the only one that had a shot was American Gigolo, only because that story at least lent itself to further adventures. But yeah, that didn't seem to go too well. Oh, okay. I guess it was Paramount. JC, Grease was nostalgia for people who grew up in the 50s. Yeah. It's like how people are nostalgic for the 90s. Yeah. Yeah. It's weird. It's weird that they keep doing this. And they just, it doesn't make them any money. Everybody hates it. And then they just attack the fans. It's like they're trying to destroy their own IPs. For what reason? My guess is this. There's enough infiltrators from the Communist Party of China that they're behind the scenes pushing this as hard as they can, because what they want to do is bankrupt enough studios or enough IPs so that the Chinese can come in and buy it up for a song and then remake them like they're supposed to be remade, right? So you imagine like a Chinese company coming in and buying, let's say, Paramount, or at least buying it through proxies. So now they own Star Trek, let's say, and then they relaunch Star Trek as the most base Star Trek ever, except you're never going to hear any criticism of communism, even in the metaphors, right? So they control it, and then, I don't know, they'd have to slip in their communism somehow. Maybe that's the plan. I don't know. Indie Phantom, Gigolo had Rosie O'Donnell as the cop, which was a big mistake in my opinion. That sounds like a mistake. JC, nostalgia button only works if you go back 20 years when the people who are aged 30 to 40 remember their childhood. Yes. Yeah, nostalgia is about every 20 to 30 years. Yep. JC, Star Trek was communist. Well, I don't want to get into that, but I think it was well, I know they didn't have any money, but it's a whole thing. I don't know. There's arguments, but maybe they would buy it, and then maybe the plan is to buy it and just. I think their plan is to try to take over Hollywood. I don't think they'll succeed ultimately, but they may buy certain properties, or they may take over a studio, or they may already have de facto control of one now. I don't know. But it seems like they are destroying everything. Maybe they have de facto control of Disney, and this is why it's happening. If they could destroy Disney, they can pull down the rest of the studios, and people will lose confidence in Hollywood, and then maybe their plan is to come out with some decent movies. But they suck at making movies. I don't think I've seen a decent Chinese movie in a long while. I can't name one off the top of my head. JC, you should play the Josiah tape I sent you if you want to get into Patrick S. Tomlinson's thing. I sent you the link. All right, I'll check it out. I don't want to do it on stream for various reasons, but I'll check it. All right. 10 of the most memorable moms on television. All right, we'll take a quick. This is only 10, so we'll take a quick look just for Mother's Day. So we got Edith Bunker, All in the Family. Okay. Tracy Ellis Ross, Dr. Rainbow Johnson in Blackish. I don't know. I didn't see that show, so I don't know. Maybe Florence Henderson as Carol Brady. What the? Did I just lose? Did I just get cut out? Oh, there we go. JC, oh, it be so funny on the stream. It's gold. I gotta screen it first, JC. I don't know what I'm in for here. Felicia Rashad as Claire Huxtable on the Cosby Show. Yeah, I would put her on the list maybe. Connie Brighton as Tammy Taylor on Friday Night Lights. I didn't see that show. Estelle Getty in Golden Girls. Yeah. Esther Roll on Good Times. Yeah. Katie Seagal as Peg Bundy. Yeah, I like her. Julie Kavner as Marge Simpson, of course. Mandy Moore as Rebecca Pearson in This Is Us. I don't know that show. It's not the worst mom list I've ever seen. All right, I got to move on. Hollywood Reporter's giving me problems on the links here, and I got to go to the bathroom, so I'm going to wrap up soon. Oh boy. Oh, this is good news. Salem's Lot remake has been delayed, so hopefully it'll be canceled, because I think the original Salem's Lot holds up pretty damn good. Always thought that movie was good. I don't see any reason to remake it, but some will disagree. The other big controversy this week was the David Cornsweet Superman still that everybody memed on. I did one. See, there it is. He looks so bored putting on his shoes. So this fan did a nice bright one. I agree that looks better. I like that. It's still, he looks bored. But at least, the city's not being destroyed behind him. Is there no more memes? Oh, this wasn't the meme link. There was a bunch of them. You could go look them up. But I did one with a giant window washer behind him. Indie Phantom. Velma's mom not on the list? No. No, she is not. All right, Deadline. Indie Phantom. They already remade Salem's Lot badly with Rob Lowe. Yeah, I like the original one. JC, Norman Bates' mom isn't on the list? Indie Phantom. Cornsweet. Isn't that his name? Is it pronounced some other way? JC, I saw one where 9/11 was in the background. Yeah, that was a good one. This happened today or yesterday. Steve Buscemi got clocked in the face by some random dude in New York. So that's not nice. Get the hell out of New York. Mike Tyson drawing concerns from boxing peers over his Jake Paul fight. I mean, I watched some of Tyson working out. I think Tyson's going to myrtleize him. I think Tyson, I know he's old. He's as old as me, but watching him work out, I was like, ooh, he's scary. He is a scary dude still. I don't know, man. I think he may just destroy Jake Paul. He might die in the ring too, but I think Jake Paul is going to be in trouble. We'll see. I don't want to watch it. Well, I kind of do want to watch it, but I'm not paying for it. So we'll see what happens. I think Tyson's going to crush him. Indie Phantom, no, Corn Sweat is right. Time to adopt a stage name. JC, like Rick Moranis got hit in the face too. Yes, he did. I remember that one too. Francis Ford Coppola's Megalopolis sells to major international buyers ahead of Cannes premiere. Can you imagine he had trouble shopping this thing? I say all the money they've wasted. I got into an argument with one of my film buddies over this. I say all the money they wasted on so many different crap movies. The least they could do is give this a chance. It's got Adam Driver in it, for crying out loud. It's probably not going to make any money. I'll admit it. But Jesus, at least waste your money on something that has a shot at being good. Holly M. Mike Mead to win Jake is blank. Can't say on YouTube. Mike Mead to win Jake is blank. Mike Need to win Jake is blank. I think he's going to crush him, but we'll see. Here's more on Doctor Who. No one cares. Indie Phantom, John Voight and Dustin Hoffman reunited in Megalopolis. No, really? Are they going to be walking along the street and Voight will be in his cowboy outfit? Holly M. okay. Mike needs to win. Jake is effed. Can't say on YouTube. Oh, okay. Okay. I see what you're saying. JC, Francis Ford Coppola made that Robin Williams movie, Jack. Just saying, they ain't bangers. I know, but I'd trust Francis Ford Coppola over, say, I don't know, the money they spent on Madam Web, The Marvels, Indiana Jones, all those movies. It's like you wasted hundreds of millions of dollars on those movies. You can't give an auteur another shot. He's got Adam Driver. He's an A-lister. So it's not like nobody's in it. And I know Adam Driver's movies aren't doing gangbusters either, but at least there's a shot that it might be good, even if it doesn't make money. At least if the movie's good, you could say, well, we made a good movie. But I don't know. Holly M. Adam Driver is a great actor. I haven't seen him in anything great yet, but I don't watch a lot of his movies, so I think I will probably see that one. JC, 70s directors don't mix well with current year CGI. Look at any of Terry Gilliam's recent movies. Well, I don't know. It's sort of a remake of Metropolis, I think it's supposed to be. Or something. I don't know. We'll see. Alright, moving on. More on Fantastic Four. Ryan Gosling takes kids out of LA, no longer considers darker roles. Yeah, that's a smart move. Disney brand is dead. 71% of adults say stop grooming children. And stock prices crater as Bob Iger admits Disney streaming business shrinking. It's like they're trying to drive the stock price down. Maybe. There was a guy who bought in at pretty low, but I don't know. I don't know if it'll ever come back. What do you have? Okay, maybe, Planet of the Apes saves you. Maybe he makes a short-term gain, but I don't know. Bill Maher still has TDS. RFK Jr.'s brainworm visits SNL Weekend Update. Yeah, sounds about right for Weekend Update these days. Cosmic Book News. Uh-oh. There we go. Oh, bad news, everybody. I know, this is going to come as a shock to you, but the Woke Quantum Leap was canceled after 2 seasons, with the second worst ratings on NBC. I know. It's shocking, I know. JC, Disney stock is up from a few months ago. Maybe it's a bad purchase. I don't know. This isn't financial advice. X-Men 97, worst performing Marvel series on Disney Plus. Venom 3 teases possible villain. It's possibly the first villain from the first movie, if anybody cares. They're begging people to watch the new Witcher, which ain't gonna happen, I say, after what they did to Henry Cavill. So I think that's done. Batman Cape Crusader, I hear, is very woke. I forget what article. It might be this site. They said it's extremely woke. I don't know. JC, it was down nearly $90, and it's still over $100. The Indian guy, he was hilarious. Bad villain. Yeah, I mean, I guess, because that's what they're alluding to. But I don't even think people remember him at this point. It's been too long. And Sigourney Weaver might be in The Mandalorian and Grogu, which, I don't know, seems like a stretch. I mean, Favreau is directing it, but I ain't going to go see the damn thing. I don't want to give these people my money. Not for Star Wars. You can't save Star Wars on one movie. You can't save Star Wars on one movie. If you had put Favreau in front of the franchise, I'd say, sure, maybe. Maybe I'd give it another chance. Knocks down all the woke stuff and starts doing new movies where cool stuff happens. Okay, maybe. But quite frankly, I'm pissed off at Mark Hamill now. His recent antics. That was cringe. So, I'd rather read something new or see something new. Anything but this. And this is what I mean about the box office. See how I circled back? You got all these movies, it's all the same stuff. Sequels, remakes. There's a couple of new things in here, but not much. And all over the internet, I got trailers galore. Trailers galore. Disney, JC, Disney stock dropped below $80 in October. It's still at 105 now. Indy Phantom, how flipping old is Sigourney Weaver? How is she box office? Because this is Hollywood, right? It's like, well, she was an alien in Aliens, and those did big business. Yeah, she's good at those movies. Like, they were good movies. So, they also put her in a romantic comedy not too long ago. It kind of came and went. So, I don't know. They're probably desperate to get anybody to watch the damn thing at this point. I think the brand at Disney is dead. I don't want to support it. Even if Mandalorian and Grogu is good, I don't want to support Pedro Pascal. I don't want to support Star Wars. I don't want to support Disney. So even if it's the best movie in the world, I don't trust it to stay good. I don't trust Disney to go, okay, yeah, we have a great movie, now we're going down that path. No, I don't trust you. You'd have to make 10 good movies in a row for me to go, okay, looks like Disney changed their tune. 10 good non-woke movies, or 10 non-woke movies. Actually, 10 non-woke movies would I'd happily go, okay, they've turned over a new leaf. But I don't want to support these people. They're weird. They're weird, and at any time they can make a movie like the Rotten Tomatoes. Or a list like the Rotten Tomatoes. That to me is the problem. That they don't know what's good is a real problem. I mean, I don't remember everything, obviously, but I can tell you what's good at least. At least I'm in the ballpark of good. At least I'm in the ballpark of, well, that was pretty interesting, or that's original. Making a Fantastic Four movie, I mean, it's taken all these years to get to the point where they're making a comic book that was popular 60 years ago. 60 years ago, the Fantastic Four was the absolute S in comics. Now it's like, who the hell remembers the Fantastic Four in comics? Comic fans, a handful of them. You got a terrible movie after terrible movie. How many times are you going to make this thing? Wrong. Every time, apparently. Every single time. Anyhow, I'm ranting. I'm going to end my rant because I really have to go to the bathroom. Let's wrap up. So, final thoughts. What have we learned? I've learned that I still don't trust Hollywood. I still don't want to see Planet of the Apes. I still will probably won't catch me inside of a movie theater anytime soon until the experience gets better. I've learned that Rotten Tomatoes still is a useless website for me, other than to give me fodder for a ridiculous Mother's Day stream. I've learned, that Hollywood still really hasn't learned its lesson. Like, there's really no change. Every couple of stories I think, oh, maybe Paramount's turned the corner. Maybe Warner Brothers has turned the corner. Maybe even Disney has turned the corner. Nope. Maybe Sony. Nope. They all go back to this woke crap. And, yeah. So I'd rather support, like, Mike Barron and his comics. Indie Phantom, we learned that RT sucks. We knew that already, yes. But now it's confirmed. All right. What's coming up for me? I'm doing a bunch of stuff this week. It's a bit nuts. If you didn't see it, by the way, you can go to Philadelphia 17 and see me. There I am. See, this is my thing with the Jersey Devil. This is me explaining the origin of the Jersey Devil. It's all nice black and white, so you can see. Ooh, it's scary. See how he zooms in? And I'm in black and white. Ooh, spooky, scary. It's got spooky, scary music, so I can't play it. And then it's called Hunting the Jersey Devil. And then in a separate segment, which is in the same show, if you watch the whole show, I, in color, talk about the Pineys, if you want to hear me talk about that. If you haven't heard enough of that, I tried to drop some more tidbits of information and insight. I always try to do that. I always try to save something. So the producer of the show, we may be doing a full half hour on the Jersey Devil at some point. We're in the negotiations to do that. There's my comics. And then this week, what the heck am I doing? All right. So Monday, I'm at United Methodist Communities in Collingswood. That's a senior center. 2 p.m., How to Hunt the Jersey Devil. Probably just for the residents and their families. Wednesday, I'm doing the Morristown Rotary Breakfast Club. This is the Rotary Club's breakfast at 7 a.m. That's going to be an early rise for me because I do not like getting up early. So I'm going to drink a ton of iced tea and go over there and try to do my talk without forgetting half the things. Then on Thursday, I'll be at the Greater Elmer Historical Society in Elmer, New Jersey for my talk on how to hunt the Jersey Devil, 6:30 p.m. May 17th, that's Friday, I'll be at Plagido's Winery in Hamilton, 7 o'clock, How to Hunt the Jersey Devil. Then on Saturday, I'll be at Village Con in Fernwood Hall Village in Whiting, New Jersey, from 10 to 4. That's a comic book show. And then on Sunday, I'll be at Valari's Lakeside Restaurant for the shopping markets, 11 to 2. So it's going to be quite a week for me. I had some time off. This week's going to be nuts. I've got a ton of books. I just got all stocked up from Amazon. I'm probably going to have to order a bunch after this. So thank you all for tuning in. I really have to go to the bathroom. And so thank you all. We'll see you next week for the live stream. I'll probably be burned out. We'll do box office and everything. See you this week for the rest of the Hollywoke hot takes and stuff. Please feel free to give me a thumbs up on your way out, and we'll see you in the next one.